Just you. Betty. Betty, come right here. You can't. Daddy be right back out. He'll be right back out. Stay right here. Betty. Shh, 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 shh. Daddy be right back out. Come on. Okay. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Yeah, Betty's having a fit because Daddy went inside to get his cookies. How is everybody today? This is a beautiful Wednesday. You know, just a beautiful day out here. And nice, and we got a little bit of wind, not bad at all. Uh, hey, Mr. Marlin. Yes, you were the first today. I don't know if we give out prizes for the first or not. So usually we have some kind of mix up in getting this thing on, but evidently you got it on okay. Can you hear me okay, Mr. Marlin? Is the sound okay? Um, that's usually the problem we have if we have anything is a problem with the sound. So I don't know. I guess I could turn this up and I could hear myself, couldn't I? Yeah, in between Buddy having fits. So okay, okay. Skipper says it sounds fine. So we're good. And yeah, I said Buddy wants to go with you, but you better hurry. Oh, having hot dogs with homemade sauerkraut. Oh, that sounds good, William. Yeah, I haven't had any homemade kraut in a long time. Uh, my mom we used to make our own when we were on the farm, and my mom made it for years. Buddy, yeah. Hope the sound isn't too perfect because Buddy's kind of loud today. Yeah, like I said, he's just upset because Skip went in and left him outside. So he'll be back in a minute. Yeah, Daddy'll be back in a minute. Now all we have to wait for is the guys to come mow the yard across the street. So I don't know, maybe they'll wait. You never know. Hey, Kevin, DJM, Jerry, lovely, lovely. Betty, come on now. Yeah, it's really, really nice out here today. And you know, we had a little bit of rain Monday, not much actually. Um, but evidently in different parts they had a little bit more than we did because I understand they shut the square down in a couple places, so there must have been a lot of lightning. Uh, but we didn't have much of anything, you know. It was just kind of a light rain. There was a little bit of thunder because Buddy barked at the thunder. Hey, Carol, Tammy. Oh, and aloha, there's Buddy. He sees a gecko. Yeah, it's come on, get your chewy and get up here with mommy. Come on, Buddy. Come on, get up here. I don't even know what he did with it. There it is. There it is. Here, here's your chewy. Get up here with mommy. Come on, get up here. Come on, get up here. I'll even let you look at the camera. I'll let you cock at the camera. Oh my goodness. So what's everybody doing? Hey, Kevin. Uh, yeah, there we go. Get your spot. Get him in his spot, and Daddy will come with your cookies soon. So let's see. I don't know. I keep. Yeah, there we go. How's that? Is that better? Um, yeah. And it is a beautiful day in the villages, Tammy. It's really really nice today. Cindy G said we had bad storms in Pittsburgh last night. Yeah, you know that front that was going. The Midwest is really getting hard this year for some reason. It didn't when I lived there. It didn't seem like it was that bad, but like I said, this year seems like they've just one right after another. When we were up there was one right before we got there and one right when we left. So I don't know. I guess I'm really glad to be here. Ron 5850 says happy porch setting Wednesday. Always great to see you guys. 65 degrees on Long Island. Well, that's better than what it could be. And I said it could be cold. And Barbara says, William, that sounds delicious. Yeah, that's what I said. I haven't had hot dogs and homemade sauerkraut in a long time. And used to, that was your funeral staple. You know, when they had a funeral, and I don't know about you, but my family usually they always had a funeral, and then they always had a big dinner afterwards. And that was one of the things you took was the sauerkraut and sausage. They didn't use hot dogs, but they used sausage. And I always loved that stuff. Rich A says, my brother is in YV right now looking at open houses. Oh, I think he meant the villages, but yeah, he says, I mean TV, yeah. And funeral potatoes, yes, it was always funeral potatoes. And Tammy says she has pork steaks in the oven. Sounds good. We went to the new Outback last night with Karen and Kevin, and we had a lovely dinner. And you know, they have at Outback, all those places have the staples. Kind of surprised at the prices nowadays because it has went up. But
yeah, I intend to get a steak dinner. That's what Outback's known for. That and shrimp on the barbie. And they had a special in Muncie when they opened up there, and I had that. It was really good. I liked it. I was shocked when I went over and opened the menu up. Steak only, no shrimp on the barbie. $34 for a, I believe it was a ribeye.
Sirloin.
No.
Yeah.
I believe the $34 one was the ribeye, and it was something like 12 ounces. I just told him straight out, I said, I ain't buying that. I said, there's no steak around the village that's worth $34.
Well, that, you know, that's kind of a giveaway price compared to what some of these others are.
Well, I don't live in New York City.
Well,
I mean,
okay.
This is a retirement community, and they got to start catering to people that's on a fixed income.
Hey, you know, prices are going up.
Here's another thing. So we're talking about an average of, I'm going to say, for the way we eat anyway, probably $100 a couple, not including, you know, drinks and whatever. $100, quit it. $100 a couple. And they put us in a corner table. I would expect the waiter, server, whoever, to take the table, pull it out a little bit to make it easier for fat people to get in there and sit down. She didn't do anything. We had to scoot and push and shove and get in. And I mentioned it to her. The only thing she had to say was, you need to bring that up to the manager. In other words, she didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Who's in the Corvette over there?
I don't know. I don't see it.
How can you not see it? It's right there.
I'm looking at a bush right now. Oh. I'm not.
You look over top of the bush, there's a Corvette, and the lady over there, I don't know her name. Her husband passed away about a year ago.
Thelma. Yeah. I don't know.
Hey, never seen a Corvette. Is that her young boyfriend?
No, she's got some.
Is that her stud man?
She's got a nephew that comes to visit sometimes. I don't know.
Oh.
But I don't pay that much attention to the neighbors.
Buddy, stop it. I'm telling you, you're getting on my nerves with this stuff.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. Let me get back to where I was. Park Room with Robbie says, can't believe April's almost over. I know, this year's going pretty quick, I think. Kevin Case is 60 in the fort with rainstorms projected for the next 3 days. That's what I said. The Midwest is really, they're just getting it one day right after another. And Craig says he's got 2 hours set aside for live porch sitting. He didn't hear a word I said.
Did Jose mow today?
Yes.
I had them sitting on the grass.
Yeah, and he moved them, so he
That's
mowed.
Unusual. Generally, he don't get off the lawnmower for nothing.
I know.
He'll mow around
But
it.
I was standing out here, so he did.
Most of these people that mow grass around here, it's kind of funny to watch him. I understand that's her job. He mows all day, every day, all over the villages. If you got something laying in your yard that you forgot to pick up, don't expect your lawnmower guy to pick it up. They will mow around it and keep going.
Did you ever said, Craig says he's got 2 hours set aside for live porch sitting.
Where is he?
Well, I said, you'll have to set that up with him when that is.
Or is he talking about for like next week, maybe?
I don't know. You'll have to talk to him. Barbara says, Kevin L., any luck with selling the house?
Who? I'm not selling my house.
Kevin?
What about him?
He's selling his house. She just wanted to know if he was having any luck with selling.
Oh, no, we asked them last night, and they said they had an open house, I think, coming this weekend.
Yeah.
So the problem right now is, and I'm not in real estate, And I'm not looking to buy any investment property or anything. But from what I'm seeing, there's a lot of houses on the market. And now it's giving the buyer opportunity to take advantage. And so houses like Kevin, pre-owned homes, you can put in an offer. Brand new homes, you cannot. But on pre-owned, you can. So when you got 600 and 700 homes on the market that normally was hanging around, what was 160, 170, that gives you opportunity to negotiate. And I'm not sure what the deal is really, because I think interest rates has actually came down a little bit, but that's what it said on TV.
Yeah,
So
okay,
the average interest rate was down a half a point, whatever half a point is, half an interest point, I guess. And houses just ain't selling right now. Well, they are and they're not. I shouldn't say that. They're not. They are selling, but
it's a lot slower because people aren't
yeah.
able to sell up north.
Well,
So.
and the snowbirds are gone, and that's usually when the peak of season is when snowbirds are here. They're out looking and buying before they go home.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about the market or what's going on. It looks like to me that the villages are still selling just the same amount of new houses now as they did last year. I don't know, but houses have, as far as selling goes, closing goes, I think that they're just slowing down a little bit. Or if you want to sell your house quick, you got to undercut the market. If your average house is 400,000 and you want to make a quick sale, you got to sell yours for 375. I mean, I'm using those as figures, but that's what you got to do.
And Guerrero 327 says, I'm a fan of Texas Roadhouse, although they can be a little noisy inside for some people.
What about Texas Roadhouse?
Says he's a big fan of Texas Roadhouse, but it can be a little noisy. And like I said, those places don't have ceilings. He's a fan of Texas Roadhouse.
What's that got to do with the noise?
He said, but it can be a little noisy.
Everything can be noisy here because half of the people like me are deaf. And so they speak up to get over the noise that's there, and then that guy speaks up more. It's just a constant.
Actually, those places that don't have a roof, don't have a ceiling, where it's just
it can echo.
Yeah, it echoes really bad, so that's why it gets so noisy. If you notice, most of those places that get like that, it's because of there's no ceiling.
That's the one thing I noticed about Boosters or a country club down there. It's a new design inside, and I like Boosters the way it's designed. It's a country club. It got outside seating like every other country club, but it's a little different design inside. They got high ceilings. They have really no ceiling, but we call it high ceilings where you can see the rafters and all that up there. That seems to be the end thing to do nowadays. But that's where the echo comes from. They put soundboards in a decorative kind of a way, hanging down up there. If you look, that's what those are. It's soundboards. What's all these plants around here dropping dirt everywhere? I swear to God, I'm going to throw these out.
Hold on to Betty.
If it wasn't here, Buddy wouldn't be knocking them down.
Okay.
So anyway, them soundboards, though, the echo gets stuck in those soundboards. I don't know how it works, but I've been in Boosters, and I can tell you they work. There wasn't near the echo in there that I thought there would be. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. And Chop House at one time was...
What's he got?
He's got his Chewy.
Oh.
Chop House at one time was like that. When it was Guy Fieri's, it was like so loud. And it didn't last long, but when Chop House took it over, they put a ceiling in. Made a big difference.
That helped a lot.
Yeah.
That cut the noise down by, I'd say, at least 50%. And false walls. Mm-hmm. It was a big open room. And so they went to certain areas in there, and they would make like a false wall. It just kind of stuck out maybe, I don't know, 10 feet. And they put decorations on it to make it look like it's supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. And all that little stuff that they did around there, it absorbs the noise. And so last time he was there, I couldn't believe how much more quieter it really was.
Yeah. Park Roman with Robbie says, yes, the Villagers doesn't get that we're all retired. Yeah. But like I said, prices are going up everywhere. Everything. So.
I don't think prices are going up here.
You haven't been out shopping for how many years?
They're still selling houses just as much as they did that time.
No, they're not. You look at the paper in there, they're not.
Are you yelling at me?
I'm trying. I said, you don't seem like you're hearing me for some reason.
What?
Oh, God. Popeye said, hey, Skip, if you don't pay the price, others will. That's all right. There's plenty of business because, we went early because
the place was half empty when we got there.
When we got there, yeah.
We went out and ate at 4 o'clock, though.
Yeah. But like I said, by 5:30, it was packed. So.
Was it?
It was when we left, yes.
Oh, I didn't pay no attention.
Yeah. But that's just it. You know,
By the
they've
way,
got quite a draw here.
we don't
So.
argue here. I pick on her all the time on purpose. You guys just don't see things on purpose because I was told a long time ago when you get heated, it helps the blood circulation. So actually, medically, I'm helping her out.
Oh my God, who told you that? Same doctor told
Same
you that
person that
salt
told
doesn't have
me.
anything to do with
Same
blood
person
pressure.
that told me that something about grandma told me about something. I forget what it was now, but it thins your blood out.
Okay.
You never heard that from your grandma?
Yeah, there's certain things that thins your blood
Hey,
out.
I take
But
respect.
no, my
I
grandma never
respect
said
what the old people say because they may know something in their history that you don't know.
Well,
The old thing about soup, chicken noodle soup, when you don't feel good, have some chicken noodle soup. Grandma did that all the time. It make you feel better. Make you feel. Recently, a study has shown there's a chemical actually in real chicken noodle soup that does help.
okay. I don't think that counts when it comes out of a can, but
Huh?
I don't think that counts when it comes out of a can.
You don't really know that.
I don't know that, no. Let's see. And Barbara says she likes Roadhouse too. I do too.
What, Texas Roadhouse? I like Texas Roadhouse.
I like their barbecue chicken.
They're different than what they was when they first opened up, though.
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot. When they first opened up, I always thought it was a fun thing to do. You just threw your peanut shells on the floor. That was it. That was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they quit doing that. Probably a liability. Probably somebody sued them or something.
Oh, yeah.
And then they used to have peanuts on the table, a big bucket of them. And now you go into Texas Roadhouse, they ask you, do you want peanuts? Well, that's just, to me, that's part of what they are.
They're covering their ass. They're good. Darrison says, I'm grinding up some Jose's coffee for the morning French press. It's 6
You'll love it.
It's 6 a.m. in Oahu, where he's at.
Oh, Oahu.
So he's having his morning coffee. But yeah, Jose's coffee, guys.
Yeah.
You know, we've
If
got a lot of people
never had
onto
it
it.
before, I mean, I don't know what kind of coffee you drink. I suppose it depends really on flavors and stuff. But Jose's coffee for coffee, buddy, I don't know what you're doing.
He sees your cookies.
I give him one, he wouldn't take it.
Really?
Now he takes it. Anyway, his coffee's pretty good. I got a couple bags in there, and I grind to make an espresso once in a while, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. And Jerry says the Villages used to be a retired community.
Used to be. I'm not sure it is anymore. Seriously, God, I'm not.
Yeah.
I think it's another city with a bunch of old people living in it.
The service industry needs to step it up. That's what Patrick says.
What?
The service industry needs to step it up.
Service centers.
The service industry. So, yeah, but you know, like I said, if you've got a, what do they call it, a captive audience, let's say because around here you wait in line to get in restaurants and stuff, even though we've got a million of them, especially if one's new. Everybody flocks to the new one. So, and I said, this one's only been open a couple of weeks, so we figured it'd be pretty busy. And then
Actually, I think this is the first one they've opened up here since Outback filed bankruptcy.
Yeah, I think so too. But like I said, the food was good. You know, like I said, outside of the price. I mean, I haven't been to Roadhouse in a long time, so their price might be that way too. You never know. Because I know they're not going to be behind when it comes to money. I
just know that it seems like nationwide chain restaurants can hold their prices better than local mom and pop restaurants. And I kind of feel sorry for the mom and pop restaurants. They're like getting squeezed out. But at the same time, you know, no matter who you are, you got so much money if you're not rich, and we're not rich. So the idea of a $35 steak for me, and that don't include her. That's just me. It's not like $35 a couple. So we're talking $100 to go out and have dinner. I mean, for the average couple, I think that's something you might do once in a while, but I don't think it's something you're going to do on a regular basis. And I believe people like Outback, like Texas Roadhouse, really benefits more looking for that regular, repeated customer, not somebody that eats out once or twice a year because of the price. But
now they did offer 2 or 3 different specials, which made a difference there.
Which is what we got.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you how much it is because thank you, Kevin and Karen. They picked up the tab.
Yeah.
You sure as hell didn't have to, but they did. And so I don't know what it cost.
But they had a 3-course meal where you have an entree, a side, and your dessert for a certain price. They had 3 of those, 3 different ones. And I think it went all the way up to 20.
Don't put the cookie down in your lid right there. You can't get it out. Jeez.
At least you got one with a lid. But
look at this.
But yeah, they had several specials, and I said one was a $10 special that you could take home. And I said you know pick your entree to take home for $10. So I guess that wasn't bad.
My cookie fell to the ground.
Don't know what to tell you.
Buddy won't eat it.
Yeah, Kevin K says too many people outside the villages using the restaurants, the prices won't go down. No, that's what I said. They have a
No,
captive audience, so
no.
they don't have any problem with getting people in. So you know they don't really service part doesn't enter into it. Although this is a new place, and I noticed that the waitress was right there on us all the time.
At our place,
Yeah,
at Outback,
yeah,
I think she was there too much. Good Lord.
yeah.
We come in here to talk and have dinner, conversation, and I swear to God, it seemed like every 5 minutes somebody was coming to the table. Everything okay? Anything you want?
But like you got to make a choice there. Do you want
She kept
service
coming
or
to
do
the
you
table
not?
talking about their specials after we already ordered.
Yeah.
She said, "Oh, have you seen our $10 special? There's something we're offering. We're offering everybody $10 a plate special for a to-go home only." And it's like, you know, I felt like I was at a car dealership.
Oh, Cindy G says, I sold my father's house at full listing price in 48 hours after it was listed. Well, congratulations. I know you worked hard on that house.
Is she in Pennsylvania?
Oh, I forget.
I was thinking.
I think we discussed this last week, but she was working on her father's house. So,
And so she already got a place here? I get everybody mixed up. I don't know who's. Somebody's selling the house because they already have a place here, and they keep going back and forth.
Well, this was their father's house, and she lost him, and so they sold it. But after 48 hours, good for you, kiddo. You must have did a bang up job.
Yeah, 48 hours to sell it. Ask how long it took her to get it ready to sell.
Well, I know she worked hard on it.
Where the real work is. I'm not trying to be cruel, but that's where we sold my dad's house. We sold her brother's house, and I mean, it's
a job.
It's a job.
Yeah.
What do you keep? What do you not keep? Here's what I did to help out, because it was her and her brother. I kept my nose out of it. I said, but I'll help. You want to paint, whatever, I'll help. I called a dumpster guy and had the largest dumpster set in his driveway without even asking him. I said, instead of going through all this crap and deciding what $10 piece you want to keep, there's a dumpster out there. Get rid of it.
Yeah. Captain being at 603 says, hi, Skip and Sue. The best deal I found when I was at the Villages was the $10.99 burger at Chili's. Includes the burger, soda, and a starter.
We went to Chili's with Jose and Maria and the other people. I could never think of.
But you know, we wasn't looking at deals actually, because we knew what we wanted when we went there.
Yeah, I didn't really look at the menu.
Yeah.
When Jose told me they brought back that Southwest trio thing.
Yeah.
I've had that before. I really like that.
Yeah.
But it was a little different. Before it was bone-in chicken wings. Now it's boneless wings, and I don't like them at all. And
we should just order the Southwest egg rolls, because that's what we both like.
Yeah, I can make a dinner out of them Southwest egg rolls.
But I'll remember that's the best deal is the $10.99 burger at Chili's, and it includes your burger, soda, and a starter and French fries. Yeah. That's cool.
Well, there's a lot of them national chain restaurants that has these specials down here anyway. I guess they're in the newspaper all the time. So you get a better deal, like at Denny's. I don't like going to a Denny's restaurant that's in a truck stop. They're awful. They're disgusting. But if you go to a standalone Denny's, and we have one here, those are still like the old-fashioned Denny's where you get the breakfast slam breakfast for $5, and you get a better deal, I think.
And then Tammy Ferguson says, hello, Skip and Sue. You know, the best deals I found are at the Mexican restaurants, believe it or not.
That's because they're all microwave.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's good to me. So, and they offer vegan. Kathy B in the 603 says, I think you could add a beer to the burger for $1. Well,
$1 for a beer?
Yeah, that's
any beer?
Deal. At Chili's.
Any beer?
Didn't say.
Here's a little gimmick they have on them too. I'll tell you right now. You go in there and say, well, add a beer for $1, and then you find out you have a choice of 3. Every one of them is light Bud, light Miller, light something, and I don't like none of that. Oh,
Bad Karma says, Sue, did Kevin say why he didn't list his home with Ira? Well, honey, was it because the home that he's wanting to buy is through the Villages.
Well, if you want to buy a brand new home, you have to go through the Villages Realty. Yeah. Nobody else can sell it.
And Ira's MLS, so that, you know, I'm assuming that's what it was. He never did say. I didn't ask. Wasn't my business.
And also, if you buy a home and sell a home, which we did, through the Villages Real Estate Company, Their deal is they will give you 1% cash back on the house that you sold.
Now, this was 10 years ago. I don't know if they still do that.
I asked. They said
okay.
they still do that.
Okay. So,
So
that's
if you
a
sell
reason
a home
right
for
there.
400 grand, and then say you buy one for 500 grand, you're going to get a 1% of that 400 grand. They'll come knocking on your door after closing. They did it with us, and she's going to hand you a check for $4,000. So that's a big deal for some people.
Yeah.
That $4,000 buys living room furniture.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, he's good with Ira, and we love Ira, and we think he's a great realtor. But that is something with the new homes. If you've got a home here to sell, now you know if you don't have a home here to sell, then it doesn't matter. But like if you got a home for sale, that 1% makes a big difference depending on the price of your house. So I'm assuming that's what it was. But like I said, I didn't ask him specifically because it wasn't my business. But
yeah, I'm not getting in the middle of an argument.
okay. Barbara Ebner says, "Oh my God, Sue, you remind me of me trying to talk to my husband. Hearing aid time. We had hearing aids. They disappeared. So
No, they didn't. One did.
one did.
I think somebody stole it. I don't know why.
Yeah, that still bugs
It doesn't make any sense to me how this thing disappeared at all.
And Jerry Bell says the villages lowered the prices in Shady Brook to close out the neighborhood, and they do that. Yes.
They did that here.
Yeah.
That's where the deals are at. You may not get the lot you want, but when they did it here, the house straight across the street from me, which is actually a nicer home than what I got, I probably should have taken advantage of it. They put that house up for sale at a reasonable price, and then because there was only one or two left in our neighborhood, they wanted to close this neighborhood out and move on to another one. I think that was offered a 16% discount or a brand new golf cart from the village's golf cart store. You have
and
your
then
choice.
Down the street, the last house in the neighborhood to sell, they did all kinds of landscaping in that house to get it sold. Like I said, that was the first time I ever seen him do that, but they wanted to close out the neighborhood. Now, let's see. Craig Morrison, Lionel Richie of the Commodores does not eat at Texas Roadhouse because he can't dance in the ceiling. Well, that's an odd reason, but makes sense.
There's an old neighborhood just north of Gainesville that I just was looking at on in the ads. I think they're trying to turn it into a touristy area because it's right off of 75. I can't think of the name of the town right now. It's got a weird name. It's not a big town. There's only something like 600 or 700 people that live there. And anyway, I thought about going up there and doing a video of it because it's landmarked as Florida's oldest town, which I found that kind of weird because I thought on the East Coast, Augustine or whatever it's called over there, I thought that was Florida's oldest town.
You can't always believe what you read.
Or maybe that's Florida's first town. I don't know.
It's like saying the village is friendliest. Florida's friendliest.
Well, that's made up.
You know.
And I don't know who said that, but it was an ad saying if you have never visited, it's something to think about because this is Florida's oldest. I forget how it actually worded it, town, and it showed pictures of some of the old buildings. These buildings were built like in 1789, and today it looks the same, but it's the courthouse. Things like that.
Yeah,
and I actually thought about going up there and walking through it, but the thing that the pictures didn't say is this a walkable town, or because back in the day when it was all woods. Whereas the courthouse over here, then 2 miles down the road is where the bed and breakfast is at, and 4 miles over there is where the restaurant. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you have to look it up and see.
I did look it up. Okay. It doesn't really say.
North of Gainesville.
Yeah, I've got it on my phone, wherever my phone is. I don't even have my phone. Where in the hell is my phone? Buddy's chewing my thumb, and I haven't got my phone.
Okay, Kathy B in the 603.
Oh, here it is, down on the ground.
Jerry Bell, my TV sales agent, contacted me today about a couple of new patio villa neighborhoods being built in Oak Hollow. Oak Hollow's the new, I think, after Water's Edge, I think Oak Hollow's the next. But yeah, I seen in the paper where they got an okay for another 65,000 homes.
65,000?
Yep.
No, 100. Can't be 1,000. It can't be 1,000.
Well, I'm just telling you what I read in the paper.
We're the fastest growing community here, and we never get approved for 65,000 homes.
Okay.
Maybe 65,000 residents, but not homes. Happy 6,500.
Oh, and well, I'm not a saint. I'm a normal person. I just have I have a high tolerance for ignorance, I guess. Darrison says it's fun to eat at 3:30.
No, not Alachua, Craig. It was weird. I hate to leave this. I'm going to go see if I can find it.
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back.
Oh, Guerra said the peanuts.
Mecanopi.
Oh, Mecanopi. Okay.
Micanopy. Mecanopi.
Yeah.
And somebody's got a big thing about it. And stop by and have lunch and take a walk around. And it looks like they're trying to make it a touristy type town.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it does sound like, be a nice little
Mecanopi.
trip. Not
And
too far.
there's a camping ground next to it called Puck Puggy.
Puck Puggy is the chapter of the DAR, I think.
The what?
The Daughters of American Revolution. I think the Puck Puggy chapter is here.
Next to next to Mecanopi, there's a campground called Puck Puggy.
Okay, it's probably named after. Yeah, I'm assuming that was a war hero.
I don't know.
Where says, yeah, the peanuts were changed because
if
too
that was
many.
his name, then I would recommend to change it.
Too many soft people cried
Hey,
about
Puck.
allergies.
Did you hear that, Sergeant? Hey, Sergeant Puck. Hey, Mr. Puggy.
Okay. Anyhow, did you hear me? So the peanuts were changed because too many soft people cried about allergies, peanut allergies. Okay.
You know,
Mr. Marlin wants to set up a GoFundMe page for hearing aids for you.
listen, I've got the money to go get hearing aids. I just refuse to do it because I just think it's almost a scam. What you got to go through to get them, the price of these little bitty things. And,
oh my God! To get him to roll off his billfold, it's something.
I am a tightwad, I'll admit it. But the thing of it is I went through this before. It's never that easy to get hearing aids. Go through the thing, they get them set, stick them in your ear. There you go. Let us know what you think. It ain't that easy. I went back to them, I bet you at least a half a dozen times after I went in. Then you got to go back and reset them. And then you get used to them again. Then you got to go back and they tell you.
Not everybody's that way, though. The doctor we went to
I just don't want to do it. I don't even want to go to my medical doctor but once a year. And if I could, I wouldn't even go to them. My idea of a doctor is whenever I don't feel good, I'll come see you. That's how I think it is. I'm not interested in all these tests they want to do on you 15 times a year, because if we catch it early, catch what?
Like I said, he functions with his earphones on most of the time.
Earphones?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like an old lady word. Hearing aids, not earphones.
You function with your headphones on most of the time here.
No, I got that wireless speaker I sit next to my chair. I haven't had them headphones on for a long time.
Okay.
But I did use them headphones. I guess it's a good idea if you have to turn the TV up to the point that houses here is close. I'm in Quit, and I'm in that room right over there all the time, and their house is right there. So I used to use the headphones so I didn't bother anybody.
Yeah. Ann O says hello from Richmond, Indiana. Well, hey, Ann, how you doing? Like I said, I feel sorry for the weather you've had to go through the last few weeks.
Why, they having bad weather up there?
They're still having rainy weather. Yeah. Oh. And that front went through, I think, yesterday from Monday.
Who cares about rain? Unless we're flooding your yard.
Well, some of it has flooded. Kentucky was flooded. And I said they've had some really serious storms.
See, buddy, we saved your life. You don't even know it. He's a Kentucky hillbilly dog.
A lot of Kentucky was flooded.
He is from the hollers of Kentucky. And I mean the real hollers of Kentucky.
Yeah. Craig says Medicare Advantage health insurance plans have affordable hearing aid copays.
I don't want to hear it.
And they do. I've looked it up, and I've told him about it. He just doesn't want to go do it.
I got insurance that's supposed to pay for it.
Yeah, and that's what he said.
What is that noise?
I don't know.
Not that. Hear it?
I hear it. I don't know what it is. Mr. Martin says Sue needs a megaphone. Yes, sometimes I do because he says he can't hear me. And it's my fault because I'm mumbling. You all heard that before, haven't you?
How many times did the waitress last night say, pardon me? Pardon me?
Yeah. But she wasn't just talking to me. Guerrero says you're better off buying your own steaks and cooking at home. You are. But like I said, it's hard to find a good steak around here. I go to Fresh Market because they're the only ones he'll eat.
So if you have to buy a New York strip, let's say a 12-ounce New York strip at Fresh Market, how much is it? Or last time you was there, how much was it?
Well, I went when they had them on sale, and it was like $16.99
for a 12-ounce.
I'm not sure of the ounce, but I think that's about what it is.
Well, that's where they go. They got so much an ounce. So that's like a 12-ounce.
Yeah.
$16. So that's
That's
a
what it
little over
was.
$1 an ounce.
It's been a while since I went.
I don't care, but it's a little over $1 an ounce.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about a 12-ounce ribeye steak for $32,
well, I haven't been for a while, so how they could be $32 now? Because I haven't been for a while. I buy 3 or 4
and I know
times.
people are going to say, well, they got rent and they got people. Not my problem.
Well, Kevin buys the whole. Buys
And that's a
half
smart
of
way
the
to do
cow
it. That's a
and
smart
chops
way
it
to
up.
do it. My
Yeah.
mom used to do it when we have a cow butchered or whatever. She would get they call them briskets, and they call them other names, roasts. And basically, you take that roast. I forget what roast it was, but you could cut it in a certain way that it was a steak.
Yes, and that would be good for a family. For us, when you're the only one eating it, I can't buy a whole. Oh, have a cow. I haven't got the
No,
freezer
I'm not
space.
talking about that. But we used to buy tenderloin, and you get pork or beef, and we could slice it, beat it out, put it in cracker crumbs or whatever, deep fry it, and that is a breaded tenderloin sandwich.
And actually, all these they have the schnitzel this week.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pork and
I'm not a big fan of them.
and it's better than my homemade ones, and they don't, like I said, it's the best you're going to get around here. Patrick says I go to Costco and buy a 4-pack of steaks for $60 and grill them myself. Yes, and I said, when Costco gets here, we'll test them out. But so far, the ones I've got at the groceries.
Well, Costco's looking good.
Yeah.
The walls are up.
So far, the ones at the groceries around here, and they have some really good deals. Sometimes you can go to Winn-Dixie and get them for $7.99, but you get what you pay for. So like I said, the Fresh Market's the only ones that he really doesn't mind eating. And I don't fix them every day. Usually for holidays, he gets steak and lobster, and I get it at Fresh Market. But I usually get, when they have them on sale, I get it on my phone when they have them on sale, and I get 3 or 4 at a time. That way, when something special comes up, or if he feels like a steak, then we have them in the freezer. But otherwise, I don't buy a whole lot of them. No. And Patrick says he did, and Guerrero says he buys a rib roast from Costco and cut my own steaks. And that's what Kevin says he does. And I said, if you eat a lot of that kind of stuff, it's okay. But I don't eat red meat, and he's not been eating it a whole lot here lately. So it just would be a waste for us. We don't have kind of that freezer space. Let's see. Oh, and Guerrero says he likes these new chairs. They seem to rock and glide smoothly. I've been really, really happy with them. I mean, I bought them off the internet, but I've been really happy with them. And I think they're not only comfortable, they're quiet, and they could make a lot of noise, and they don't. And Buddy even likes them. The only problem I have is moving them around. I can't move them around very much because I ain't got the strength of a pissant. But other than that, they were very worth the money.
Only problem with them, really, it's just a thought. Not a big problem, I suppose. But whenever a hurricane's going to come through, or we got a high wind advisory or whatever, you got to take the cushions off and put them up somewhere.
And we don't have to. I've got covers for them. I just don't like putting the covers on.
Hurricane comes through, that ain't going to stop the stuff getting blown around.
But just for a regular storm, I could cover them up with no problem. So, Craig says, no, I'm just chilling and listening. No live visit today. So you guys get together and decide when he's coming over. Let me know when that is, and that way I can be somewhere else. Cindy G said, it took me 5 months to get the house ready, and I am in Pittsburgh. One day I will be in the Villages. Yeah, I know it takes a long time. 5 months, that sounds about right. So, but you worked hard on it. I know you did.
Speaking of that, Craig, seems to me on Discord here about, I'll say maybe a week ago, there was some lady on there that became a Patreon member specifically, I think, to talk to you. She came on Discord and she was looking for you.
And I think he's been on there every day since.
And I don't know who the lady is because I don't get on Discord that much. I try to leave it clear so people don't feel like I'm trying to, control the conversation or something. But you might want to go check because, like I said, I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, he's put his thing up every
time
he's on Discord. Yeah. Chris Wilker says, hey, Skip and Sue, love you guys. My question is, does the village have RV storage within the villages, and does it have water and dump stations?
They do have a RV store. Well, it's not just RV storage. Only one that's golf cart accessible, and you're not going to get in there because it's restricted to basically small RVs. What size, I don't really know. I'm going to say 25 foot. I don't really know. And no electric, no sewer or any of that. If you want that, you're going to have to go off campus.
Yeah.
There is a newer one that they opened up down here pretty close to the prison. We went by it once.
Yeah.
What town is that? Coleman?
Coleman, yeah.
It's Coleman. Looked really nice. Asphalt everywhere. There was no gravel. They had a choice of things: hook up, no hook up, under roof, not under roof. They even had a building,
But not golf cart accessible.
but not golf cart accessible.
Yeah.
And somebody told me, I think it was Jeremy, told me that he heard, and the prices are all over the place, but he heard it was over $500 a month to have a indoor storage, I think, over there. So I don't know what outdoor storage is, what it costs, or any of that. I know where I'm at. I'm under roof. I have access to all that: water, fresh, a wash bay, big air compressor area to pull over, dump stations. I got 30 amp electric, all that, and I'm paying somewhere in the neighborhood with tax and everything. I think around $250 a month, which is a lot, I know, but you have to, because you can't have it here. You can't have it in your driveway.
And there are several of them. There's one behind Spar, across the street from Brownwood. That's where Linda's is at.
Yeah, but that's expensive.
Yeah, and like I said they're kind of all over the place. But as far as having
Golf cart accessibility to it.
And then the village one also has like a 3-year waiting list. I mean, you're just never going to get in there.
Yeah, that's what I said. You know, unless you got a small RV, and maybe you do. I don't know that, but you're not going to get in there. It's they got a waiting list a mile long to get in there.
And Amanda Hood says, hello, Sue and Skip. Enjoy your channel. Well, thank you, Amanda. I said, we just sit here and yak.
Do you really enjoy it, or are you just saying that?
What do you want, blood?
I'm just trying to get her blood circulating, get her to boil.
Oh, get your blood pressure down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris Walker says, I'm looking to move to the villages, but have a travel trailer, but would like one with 24-hour access and a dump station.
Well, I can tell you where I'm at. I'm happy. People there are super nice. A big corporation bought it. Originally, there was a farmer that owned that. That was his field, and he done that because it paid more money than crops around here. And then he sold it to another company. I was okay with them, and now that company is not that company anymore. Some other large company bought it, and every time they sell it, the prices keep going up. You know, much like here in the villages.
Well, I said we've left it there for several years, and I said that people are nice and always take care of things. And
matter of fact, they'll even call you. They called me one day. Actually, they called Sue. I think that's the number on file, really. But I was over there working, and me and my old mind, when I came home, I left my tools and stuff sitting right next to the camper. I don't know why I done that. So they called Sue and said, you know, that he had left his tools and stuff laying out, and you know, they're being nice about it. Mm-hmm. And he really shouldn't do that because it could cause a problem. Blah blah blah. When Sue told me that, I went right over there, and because it ain't that far down the road. Yeah. And I thought, hell, I don't know how I done that.
They do have 24 access if you tell them that you need 24 hours. They
got to put it on the computer that you want access 24/7.
Yeah, because we come home in the middle of the night once, and I couldn't get in.
That's when that new company bought it. Well, when they bought it, they put their own computer system in there, and I was locked out. I didn't know it. I didn't even know they sold the company. It ain't like they call everybody up and tell you, hey, by the way, we sold the company.
Yeah. But we're at Coverall Storage on 301. Now, it's a good piece down 301. It's just before you get to 466. But it's a big place, and they're constantly building. You know, they're putting in more storage space and more. We used to be outside, on the outside actually with our first camper, and now we're under roof, and where we're in now is a pull-through site. So that's why
I got a large pull-through site because I got tired of having to disconnect my dolly and push it under the camper to make sure I'm under roof and all that.
Yeah.
So I got a 40-foot pull-through site with 30 amp hook.
But it's called Coverall Storage. But it's it's
but
part
just
of
so you know,
company.
Even if you park outside, you have access. When I parked outside, it was at that time. How long have I been there?
I don't know.
4 or 5 years probably. Yep. When I was parking outside, it was with absolutely no hookups.
It was gravel.
It was $50 a month. I was parked in gravel. But even if you're outside and you have no hookups of any kind, you have complete access to the air compressor, the dump, the water, the wash bay, and I'm thinking there was something else, but I can't remember what it was. Everybody has access to that no matter where you're at, just so you know.
Yeah.
Also, they had a thing over there where it said if you recommended a place and somebody came in and actually rented a spot, I'm supposed to get credit for so much, and they apply it to my next month's bill, whatever that. I even forget what it was. Well, I've had at least 3 people that I know of in the last 6 months that rented over there because they sent me emails letting me know, and I haven't got credit for nothing.
Did you tell them?
Well, I called over there the other day to find out, why I'm not getting this credit that they offered. They sent me an email about it, and the lady told me when she answered the phone, she's never been there before. She's only part-time. The lady that normally works there has been sent to another place that they just bought to help get it set up, and when she gets back, give her a call.
Well, okay. That's kind of how it works everywhere. Jerry says, sorry, been out shopping. Jerry Bell.
Jerry don't shop.
Well, evidently he does. He says he's been out shopping.
He'll make somebody a good wife.
Might have been for car parts. I don't know. He was shopping.
You went to Lowe's.
Oh. And Jerry, he put up the link for Jose's coffee. Yes. I said, try that coffee. It's, he gets the beans and roasts them himself. And everybody that we've talked to, actually, some people we had lunch with a week or so ago, they were going back to Michigan. And I know he ordered 5 or 6 bags when we were sitting there at lunch. And I said, then they had to make a trip over and met Jose and his wife Maria and bought more to take back to Michigan with them. So everybody seems to like it.
If you haven't seen that video yet, that they told me that I suck. I think they're funny as hell. I like them. I got one from Scooter to DJ saying, hey, Skip, you suck. And then the people that got the coffee, they sent a video saying, hey, Skip, by the way, you suck.
And if you don't know what that means,
it's an inside joke.
Yeah, Scooter always told us to tell him that when we come to the square so he'd know that we were there. But anyhow, so now they're doing it to us.
Yeah. Send me a you suck. I love it.
And Kevin says, have a great day, everyone, playing cards at Alamanda. Well, get lucky, Kevin.
Alamanda. Yeah. Ain't that what this is over here in Alamanda?
That's the house. That's
Alamanda's, Alamanda's the...
But there's a rec center.
Oh, I don't know. I thought you were talking about a model.
And Jerry says he's telling Craig he'll be down at the end of May, Lord willing. Okay. Well, we may not be here, Jerry, but we're planning that trip to North Dakota. And, it was funny because Skip and I were thinking the same thing and didn't know it. He's thinking, do I need my suit? We're going for the granddaughter's wedding. And she's having a big wedding. But we really don't know how to dress. Because it's going to be at the farm, at their farm. And so she didn't say what was outside, but I'm assuming that's what it is. So we really don't know how to dress. Now, we're going to have to get that straight with her before we go. Skip didn't know if he had to wear his suit, and I'm thinking, do I need a different kind of shoes? That kind of thing. Becky Foreman says, hi, Skip and Sue. Finally, the sun and 50s in north central Montana. Well, good for you.
Montana. That's another state I want to go to one of these days. I want to spend about, a minimum of 2 weeks in Montana cruising around.
And what's in Montana?
I don't know. That's why I want to go there.
Oh, okay.
Wyoming. Of course, you got Jackson, Wyoming, which is a big touristy area. But
I've seen the West.
I know the scenery. Cause I've been through there in the semi truck. The scenery in those areas is just magnificent. Just magnificent. But there's a lot of history up there with Indians. And along the interstate, which I can't remember the interstate, 80 or something like that, you'll see statues dedicated to like Geronimo and they're just there, huge statues. And so there's a whole lot of there to see and do, I think, that I've never had a chance. This is where we stopped. Let me tell you a story. Everybody, I see it and everybody's going, oh my God.
There you go.
This is a fact. I'm teaching a guy to drive, a friend of mine. His name's Dick. You guys heard me talk about him before. And we're in my truck. I had a double bunk sleeper bunk, big truck. And we're going across there, and he's on the interstate, and up there back then in the days at night, there's like no traffic. So that's a good time to let him to drive. So we're going across there, and I'm back there in the bed sleeping, and I felt him slowing down. And and when you get used to the rumble of a truck, when they start slowing down and stuff, it wakes you up. And I stuck my head out there and I said, "What are we doing?" He said, "I'm getting hungry, so I'm going to get me some goo gai pan. Mugu gai pan." I said, "What?" I said, "Where the hell are you going to find mugu gai pan out here in the middle of cowboy country?" He said, "I think they got some right over here in this little truck stop." So I get up, put my shoes on, think, well, if we're going to go in there, I could use a bite to eat. So we go around back. It's all gravel lot. When you get behind this truck stop, it ain't a big truck stop, it's a small one. It is a corral. And in the corral, there's horses. And then there's flakes of hay inside the corral for the horses to munch on. And you've seen saddles kind of sitting on the fence around this corral. I never thought anything about it, but, apparently these cowboys up there, real cowboys, when they want to go in there for breakfast or dinner, they put their horses back there, give them a flake of hay, take the saddle off of the horse, let it rest a little bit, and they were inside eating. And for a guy from, 500-mile race country, this was an eye-opener to me. I was like, oh my God, there are real cowboys in here. That guy over there's got a gun. He's got a gun strapped to his side. Now, that's normal living up there, but I'm not used to that. But I never said anything. Well, this little Oriental guy, I won't say, I don't know, Japanese, Korean, I don't know. Oriental guy comes to this table, hands us menus, and wanted to know what you like to drink, what you want to drink, something like that. So I get a Coke or something, and Dick got whatever he got. And then I ordered up, I don't know, probably a burger and a fry. I love a good hamburger, so I probably got a burger and a fry or something. And Dick orders this Mugu Gai pan. And then the guy left, and I thought to myself, holy crap, who else but Dick could find a restaurant in the middle of cowboy country that served Mugu Gai pan?
Oh my goodness. Let's see. We got to go back. Well, we're really behind here. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie. When you coming down?
He's going to ask you that every time until you come down. You know that.
I get her blood boiling.
Yeah. Patrick Dowling says, can't wait to get there for a visit. Oh, you'll love it, Patrick. You will. Craig says north of Gainesville, Alachua. But no, you said Mechanipe, wasn't it?
Mechanipe.
Mm-hmm.
Never been there, but I thought about taking my camera. It's not that far down the road, hour drive, and have a little bit of a different video than what everybody else is doing. I thought I'd go up there and maybe do a picture of what could be Florida's oldest town. See how decrepit it really is.
Yeah. And Julie says it's 63 degrees there. Well, that's decent. I mean, it is still April for another day or two. So Craig says, I think you're referring to Mechanipe, south of Gainesville, walking town.
It's south of Gainesville. I thought it was just north.
So I'll show you several spots to shoot on around Gainesville.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go up there with my camera and see what there is to film, maybe. And while we're up there, I think I might, if I can find one, a little mom and pop restaurant and grab a little bite to eat. And, I don't know, come home and edit it and see just how boring it really is.
We need to do more road trips.
I have a hard time when I edit videos that I do differently, and I look at them and I watch these things probably 3 and 4. I edit them and then I see something, I go back and I re-edit it, and then I see something, I go back and I re-edit it, and then I watch it, the finished product when I'm done, and then in my mind I'm looking at it going, is this entertaining? Would this entertain a lot of people? And so far I've done a piss poor job of it.
You're your own worst critic. But hey, Keys Time in the Villages says hello from the Florida Keys. Well, I hope you're home already. Well, I know you are because I've seen pictures of the pool.
Are they down there to close?
No.
Oh.
They're still doing some work down there.
I would say the housing market, especially down there, is really going to be, you're looking for a select group of people. Not everybody wants to move to Key West, Florida. Well,
and the price, I couldn't believe the price. I think it's very decent. Of course, I don't, I'm not a real estate person.
Everything in the Keys is just like high dollar.
Yeah.
Find an old piece of shit shack, it's $1 million.
Well, like I said, they're at, and there's plenty of pictures online of it.
Oh, he's got a beautiful place.
Yeah.
He's in Marathon Key.
Yeah.
Which is like halfway there to the Keys, kind of.
Yeah. But Becky Forbes said, we paid almost $6,000 for hearing aids for my hubby 4 years ago. Now he needs new ones. I'm tempted to try the $400 ones from Walmart. you know, the only problem I have with those, because you know they changed the law, so now that they can, any hearing device now they can sell you, where it didn't used to be that way. Used to you had to go through the doctor, you know, and go through all their stuff before you could get them, and now anybody can sell them to you. I've heard good things about Costco
I've heard.
and
I've had a
their
lot of
hearing
people
devices.
recommend Costco hearing aids to me too,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure they're true hearing aids.
hearing aids and eyeglasses.
I think
But
what a lot of what these stores are selling is not true hearing aids. Is they're selling you amplification microphones.
yeah, and that's what you got to be careful of. You know, I mean, you can get them at Walmart, you can get them at Sam's Club, any of those, but just make sure that they're good ones. I've got a neighbor that they just upgraded from ones off Amazon, and this time they got a more expensive pair. From what I could tell, I'm not sure that it's hearing better, but yeah, since they changed that rule, anybody can sell you amplification. It's not always directly for what is your problem.
See, the problem, my first hearing aids was because, I know you guys ain't going to believe this, but I got another little story I want to tell you. As a semi driver, we're taught back in the day, the driver's window, back when we had hand cranks, you cracked it like that much. So the fresh air coming in your cab that circulated helped keep you awake, because drivers back then were known for falling asleep at the wheel. Well, that noise right here causes this ear, it doesn't really cause the ear, but it causes you to go deaf in this ear because it's constantly hissing by this side. And when I went to get my hearing aids, because when the Teamsters came in, that was part of our insurance, that they would pay, I think it was 50% of the cost of a hearing aid for your one set only in a lifetime, one. I couldn't get any more. So I thought, I'm going to get them, because they were expensive. And my half at that time was like $6,000 or $7,000. So these were like $14,000 worth of hearing aids there.
And the granddaughters wouldn't stay in the same room with him. That's why he went.
So we went in and they did some tests. They do tests. They look in your ear. They stick shit down there in your ear, look around, and some of it hurts. And anyway, got done the test. And she says, the problem that I have, she said, you do have a hearing loss. She said, but the problem that we have with your ear over here is because of that noise. To protect that ear, that part of my brain over here is shutting down. It's turning off. And then to protect the ear. I never heard it, but it made sense. She said, well, first thing we got to do with the hearing aids is we have to wake that part of the brain up. And then as it wakes up and we go through it, we can determine how much hearing loss you actually have. So it was ended up being test month after month, test month after month, test, until we got it to where actually toward the end right there, a year later at least, they were working pretty good. And then I come down here and one of them disappeared. Until this day, we have no idea.
And I did not throw it away.
Why would you throw it away?
Well, I mean, I've been known to do that if I don't like it. Craig says, I think Hooters should sell hearing aids. Skip, you could maximize the value of your visits.
Nobody goes to Hooters to hear anything. We have to have good eyeglasses to go to Hooters to see a lot.
Costco sells those too.
But what did Karen say last night at the table talking about Hooters and everything? We were just talking at the table over here at the restaurant we were at, and I said, you know, I said, the thing I find fascinating is how many people on a video I make will always make these comments about, well, Hooters has filed bankruptcy. Hooters has filed bankruptcy. You're probably not going to see a Hooters. They filed bankruptcy. I said, Outback filed bankruptcy at the very same time that Hooters did. Nobody says a word about it.
Yeah. Patrick says, I think the newer Apple AirPods work as a hearing aid. That could be. I don't know much about them. But I've got
the AirPods are the thing you put in your ear. And
well, I've got the AirPods, but I mean, you know, I don't know about them being good for a hearing aid.
No, they might work in a movie theater, because all the movie theaters had that, whatever they put in the movie theater, where if you have it in your hearing aid, you can hear the movie through your hearing aid. Cell phones, you can connect your Bluetooth cell phone to your hearing aid. Linda's got that. Those are kind of weird, because you'll see people all the time walking through a grocery store, and you go, is that person crazy, talking to herself, or is she using her hearing aids? You can't tell.
Yeah. Guerrero says Skip doesn't want to hear it. That's why he doesn't wear his hearing aids.
I really don't want to hear it. There's nothing I want to hear that's going to change my life.
Yeah.
My life is what it is, and no matter what anybody says or does, it isn't going to change it.
Becky Forbes says we've got to do something. $6,000, and they haven't really worked since the beginning. Yeah, that's the problem you run into. And I remember his dad. Before his dad passed away, we took him and got new hearing aids. And I know he paid quite a bit for his, but they said it was time for him to get new ones. And he really couldn't hear with them. But we went and got new ones, and it cost another $10,000. And he had General Motors insurance. So I'm sure insurance paid a lot for him. But it actually cost him another $10,000 because they gave him something new and improved and, it's supposed to be better. And he couldn't hear anything with them. So,
a lot of the problems with some of the hearing aids, too, is all the buttons that they don't talk to you about. This button over here, you press that one, it does something. You press this one over here 3 times, it does something different. Yeah. And Dad, with Alzheimer's and stuff, he can't remember all this.
Yeah.
I did a test on him when I was up for one. I told Sue, I said, I don't think Dad's hearing aids are working at all. She said, how do you know? I said, I don't know. I said, so I took it out, and I put one in my ear and turned it on, nothing. So I put a new battery in it and then turned it on. Oh, my God. I mean, the battery was totally dead in it. So I took the battery out. There's nothing in here. And I stuck it back in Dad's ear. I said, Dad, is that any better? Oh, yeah, that's much better. There was no battery in it.
You can hear a mouse down the street, but not Sue sitting right next to him.
That's true. I hear things all the time. I come out from my room in there, and I'll stick my head out the window, and I go, what is that noise? And Sue will go, what noise? I hear this noise.
It's the frequency. He also has tinnitus, so that makes a difference, too. So, William says, I used to live near Mechanipe in Keystone Heights many years ago.
Is it worth going to see? Is there something
I don't know.
There?
What do you think, William?
Some of the video, you think people would be interested in seeing what I call what old Florida actually looked like? There is old Florida left. There's a lot of it left. Nobody ever shows it that much. Chris
Welker says, I think Skip's hearing works fine. He suffers from selective hearing. When it comes to me, you're right. He does. Because he's telling me about things he's hearing, and I'm thinking there's something wrong with him because I don't hear anything. But yeah, Jerry Bell says Costco is around $10 to $12 a pound for choice New York strip, about $14 for prime. Okay.
$10 to $12 a pound. That's a 16 ounce. So that's not a bad price.
No, that's not.
So $32 for a steak.
Well,
is crazy.
Yeah, but like I said, we don't know what the rest of them went up to.
You don't know how much of that steak I'm gonna have to trim off and throw away that I paid for. Like they always have a ton of fat on it. You don't eat that, but you paid for it.
Craig says, what is a pissant? Is that an Indiana thing?
A pissant?
I'm sorry. I said that. Well ago I said I didn't have the strength of a pissant. Oh. He wants to know what a pissant is.
Yeah, that's kind of an Indiana thing. My dad used to say that. He'd say that too. He said, I ain't got the strength of a pissant anymore.
Yeah. Meadow 37 says, hi, Stu and Skip. Are you building a floral wall between you and Skip? It's lovely. I'm trying. I keep at it. No, you know why? These are not real good in direct sun. And so I have to keep the awning.
You ought to look at them in the afternoon.
In the awning, in this kind of heat, I've got to keep the awning out until the sun goes, because the sun comes up on the other side of the house. So, in the afternoon, it's blaring right in here if I don't keep the awning out. So they look pretty skimpy in the afternoon. So I've been keeping the awning out, and as long as I keep them watered, they stay fine. But I love flowers. I really do. And I've tried to keep it to a minimum where there's not a whole lot of work. If you could see the flowers out front, I've got snapdragons. I got a whole bunch of snapdragons out there, and I just love them.
You guys know why they call them snapdragons? I've got video of them.
Yeah.
Go watch the video of, I don't know if it's on YouTube or not, where we took Nixon. She wanted to go to Lake Sumter.
Oh, yeah.
And we right when you went into that one rec center, I said, you know why they call them snapdragons? I showed it. So I don't know if that's on YouTube. I saw on Patreon, I think, but I don't know if it's on YouTube yet. Have you seen it?
I haven't, no.
Well, then it's not on YouTube.
Well, unless, I don't pay a lot of attention to some of them. So.
You don't watch my videos.
Jerry Bell says, wash bay. Time to drink, guys.
Are they doing a drink game?
Joy Hudo says, hey there, Skip and Sue. Hey, Joy, how you doing? Amanda Hood says, I really enjoy your channel. I never say anything I don't mean. Gets me in trouble sometimes. She doesn't say anything she don't mean. because it gets her in trouble sometimes.
Oh, you don't worry about it. And listen, after a certain age, I just don't understand people worrying about so much stuff. You're going to be dead in 10 years, so quit worrying about it. I mean, it's a fact. The
On
average guy,
Christmas,
the average guy, it's all genetics. I understand that. But the average guy nationwide dies by the age of 76. I'm 73. So do you think I give a shit what people think about what I eat and what I don't eat? I just don't care.
okay. Let's see. Chris Walker says, "What's the name of your storage unit?" It's
She just told you. Are you not listening?
yeah.
Think I pissed him off?
Oh no.
That gets his blood boiling.
No, I
It's good to
think
get your blood. It's good to get mad because it thins your blood out and it circulates really good and it kind of washes out the system.
Oh, okay.
That's what my grandma told me.
Dan O'Brien says there are 2 RV storage areas in the villages that are golf cart friendly. You can fit a 70-foot rig in the larger spots. I have a 40-foot long spot for about $50 a month. Okay, so I'm assuming that's not under roof.
No, that's not in the roof, and you ain't got no hookups either for $50 a month. Don't bullshit a bullshitter because I know what these things cost around here.
Okay, and Bad Carbon wants to know if the RV wash bay is under roof.
No, it's an outside thing. It's not a big deal. It's like a 400-foot garden hose. It's a big hose. They got a lot of pressure there. You just pull up next to it. You can walk on your roof, which is what I need to do. I got to get my roof washed. I get the roof washed. There's 2 drinks right there. I'm helping them out.
Okay.
And
but you don't go out there without me and wash that roof.
Yeah, whatever. And then I'm going to wash the camper. And there's another drink. Wash again. There's another one. That's 4 drinks right there.
Anyhow, I don't know where the other one is. He says there's 2 that are golf cart friendly.
Yeah, but I know for facts the one over here off Rolling Acres Road that you're restricted to how big it can be, and there's no hookups in there. I know this for facts because I've been over there.
And then I said, and 2, I said there's usually a waiting list. So
2 and 3 years long.
May not be that way now. I don't know.
The one over here off of 466, is it 466, where they had that they put that storage lot right there, and it is golf cart accessible.
Right there.
All I know is if you take 466, you're heading down Rolling Acres Road, you got the RV, I think it's the RV recreation thing over there on the catty corner where Fat Bob had his place for a while.
Recreation Plantation.
Just back this way of that, on the right-hand side, there's a storage area that's actually next to a village's neighborhood. I don't even know the name of it. It is golf cart accessible, but I have never seen an RV in there. Not to say they're not in there, but I can guarantee you 2 things. 1, you're not going to like the price. And 2, if you got a big RV, you're not going to get in there. Okay. And 3, even if you can get in there, there's going to be a 2 or 3 year waiting list to get in there.
And the name of our storage lot is?
Cover All Storage. That's what you said. Are you not listening?
Cover All Storage, guys. Fred Clark says, "Hi, Skip and Sue. I'm looking forward to our visit to the villages in June."
Let me just tell you this real quick, because I'm always trying to get more subscribers on my RV channel, because I know the day's coming that this here is going to slow way down. Is go to Skip and Sue RV thing. It's in the description box below, and I've got where I go over there to the RV lot to work on it. I try to video a lot of that, basically to show you what the RV lot looks like and how far it is. And I just done one last week. I put the camera on the back of the car, and I showed the whole driving over there, and you can get your stopwatch out and see exactly how long it takes me to get from here to there. So, and you can see what the RV place looks like. So go to the RV channel, RV thing, and subscribe and take a look, see what you think.
Yeah. And Frank, I'm sure you'll love it when you come visit. And I said, June, we probably won't be here, but I wish you luck. I said, there's a lot of things to see and do here, and you won't regret it. You'll have a good time.
Well, if you're coming here for a week, like a vacation, and look around, let's say a lifestyle visit.
Just said he's looking forward to the visit.
Well, they got lifestyle visits, don't they have like 3-day, 4-day, 5-day visits?
Didn't say lifestyle, just a visit.
Just a visit. Well, if you're not going to be here a day or 2, you're not going to see anything. Really, you're not. You'll get a feel of what things are. But if you want to go down to Eastport, Eastport's a big area. It could take you could probably spend all day down at Middleton and Eastport looking around at all the new building, checking out some of the new lots, the new village places down there, have lunch down there, all that stuff. If you're going to be here a week, you got Spanish Springs, everything from the historical area all the way down to 466. You've got the shopping centers on 466, which is huge. That's where Costco and stuff's going to be, right? 466.
Mm-hmm.
Costco. 466A down there where we just had lunch right over here. That's where the new Target store's going up and some other stuff in there. Then you got Brownwood, and every one of them squares has music at night. You go up there at night and have a drink or two and watch people dance. I don't know, man. There's just so much things here to see and do
Yeah.
that you're probably not going to see it all.
But I said, I'm sure you'll have a good time. And I said, people around here love to talk. I mean, it seems like they're awful friendly. And at one time, my granddaughter told me that. Said, everybody here is so friendly. I said, well, you know, they're not used to seeing kids. So they like to talk.
Yeah, we
And
tell people that all the time, especially if you go to a square. And I'm hesitant to even saying this anymore because you never know who's at that square. But if you're at a square and you see somebody and you want to ask a couple of questions about things, just don't be afraid to ask. People
Yeah.
don't mind telling you stuff.
And then be aware after June 1st, it was when our rainy season starts. So, you know, don't be afraid of a rainstorm every day because, as I say, it's going to be that way. But that doesn't mean it doesn't last 5 minutes and it's gone. You don't know.
On the average, I'd say it rained around 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the summer during the rainy season. And 20 minutes later, the sun's back out, the rain's gone, and you go down to the square. It's pretty typical. But I will say the weather in the last year seemed to be kind of weird. So I don't want to say that's the way to be this year. I don't know.
Yeah, we're in a severe drought right now. So we haven't had much rain so far this year.
I've had my water sprinklers on 2 or 3 days a week now for the last 2 or 3 weeks to keep my grass looking kind of green.
Yeah, and you know, we've had several neighbors that's had to replace their grass. Don't know what's going on, but you know, I'm hoping we never have to do that because I know it's expensive. Becky Forbes says, come in September after school starts. Yeah, that's a good September and October are good months. It's still rainy in September, but it's a good month because the October the weather kind of smooths out a little bit, so it's not 90 every day. And in September it still is though. But like I said, you get the rain, but it's just usually it's just a short rain. The sun comes back out and you're good to go. If y'all been to visit Disney World, then you know what I'm talking about because in the summertime people go visit Disney and they always run into a little bit of rain, but it's so hot that it feels good that it rained.
What are you doing? Well, the first thing you got to do is sprinklers. Let me tell you what I know because I take care of mine. You got to take all the heads off of every one of them, turn the water on, and wash the mud out. And then just get them adjusted and you're done. There's nothing else you can do.
She's got a guy over there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an every year pain in the butt. That's probably right.
Megan says, if you were to buy another house in the Villages, what house floor plan would you buy? And what new neighborhood down south do you like the most?
I don't know about down south.
Yeah, we don't know a lot about the neighborhoods. I mean, I know where they're at, and I know a lot of people moving down there. Yeah. But as far as checking out the neighborhoods, we really haven't done that. I went on the Street of Dreams tour, which showed you the different houses, and I like the Kingfisher Sea. I like that house. And then, and Kevin told me that I like, because I'm always wanting more cabinets. So Kevin told me if I wanted more cabinets that I needed a Dove Sea. So, and I said, I don't remember exactly which ones were which, but I think I'd like that floor plan.
I would think probably the most critical question to ask yourself really isn't what neighborhood to move into. They're all good. There's no such thing as I consider to be a bad neighborhood. Is get one you can afford. You know, I say don't go asshole deep in debt to buy one of these things. And square footage. I think that's the number one question. Square footage. 3 bedrooms is good. 2-car garage is good. Golf cart garage is better. But square footage. Do you want a 2,200 square foot house? I mean, or are you comfortable in a 1,500 square foot house? I think that's more important than anything.
Yeah. And I said, I'm big on looking for extra cabinet space. I don't have enough cabinet space in this house. And some of the houses have that. So that's one of the criteria you want to give to your realtor. Tell them, you're looking for something with a lot of cabinets or a golf cart garage or open kitchen. You're going to know what you want to tell them. And I said, when they have like the Street of Dreams, they have a whole 3 or 4 blocks of houses open. So you can go look at all of them. Kind of gives you an idea right there.
But he's on the hunt.
What's he hunting for?
What do you think he's hunting for?
Geckos. I was laughing at the kids across the street. They come from Canada, and they were out there chasing geckos. And I was going to tell them about their tails coming off. Nah, they'll find out.
Scares the hell out of them too when that happens.
Okay, Barbara Anderson skipped the Mister and I love Montana and Wyoming. Says you are right. Big sky country and the scenery is breathtaking.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the best dentist I ever had retired to Montana.
Oh yeah, they all go Montana and Wyoming. It's just like hairdressers go to Aruba.
Well, Montana's almost getting to the point where if you're a millionaire, that's where you buy your home. I mean, this country's turning into we have so much money in this country. I don't have it, but there are so many millionaires anymore. I had a guy tell me one time. I said, "Whoa, it takes $1 million to do that." He goes, He said, "Everybody's got $1 million." I don't.
Yeah. Oh, Meadow 37 says, I hope you will be able to share a bit of the North Dakota wedding fun. I'm hoping, but they're used to Skip running around with a camera all the time. So, but you wonder if it's, wonder how much decorum there is in running around with a camera, that kind of thing. But because they usually with the big weddings, they pay someone to do the filming and that kind of thing. So we'll see. I don't know how it's going to turn out.
Well, if I film the wedding, I'm just going to do it for Nixon. Just give it to her. I'm not going to put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's kind of a private thing for them.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I might, do a little bit of the after wedding thing when everybody's drunk and falling down.
And I'm curious to see the scenery if they're going to do it outside its farm.
I don't know. That's why I say, do I need to take my suit?
I don't know. I'll have to ask her.
I have one suit, and it's good for two things: weddings and funerals.
That's the way most everybody is down here. So
that seems to be my life nowadays.
And Jerry Bell says it's still winter in North Dakota. Well, this is the end of June when they're having the wedding, about the third week in June. So it should be decent. I'll tell you what, though,
compared to the weather down here, I might like that 50-degree night.
Yeah,
it's hotter than blazes now. It's in the 90s like almost every day now.
Yeah. So it should be doable. That's what we said. Last time we was up there, it was rainy, but it was really nice, and it is a beautiful area up there.
And we also had a hotel room. You could turn the heater on, which is weird. Let me tell you another story. We went up there, and in this little town to see our granddaughter. We'd never been there before, and I forget why we was there, but we were there in a car. We were traveling, I think, on that 6 weeks trip in our car back in the day, and I thought, well, let's just swing by, the granddaughter's place, and I don't know. We were in that area, and I forget what I was going to say.
We took them to Olive Garden because when they were kids,
no, it wasn't
that was their famous place. That was their favorite place, was go to Olive Garden.
No, we met. That's when we seen the great grandkid. We ate some.
Yeah, it was a local place, but it was kind of the I don't know. You know how the difference is between your chain restaurants and the new ones coming out.
This is almost like a hunting lodge restaurant, log cabin type place, but very nice. That's where we were at. And we met our grandson for the first time there, which I thought he'll be real standoffish because he don't know us. But he really wasn't.
Yeah.
He took my camera, was walking around, taking pictures, and I still got them pictures. They're a little goofy, but hey, he took them and I got them. And
he had a good time.
He was probably maybe 4 years old then.
Yeah, I think at that time.
Yeah.
But we'll, I said, we'll do what we can while we're up there. And I hope we get pictures of other things while we're there. So, because I said somebody.
Oh, I know what was my story. I got to finish my story. Don't bother me. I got to finish my story. We went up there, and as we're driving around Grand Forks and getting a good look see, I noticed there was this flooding wall that went all over town. And I asked the guy that was there. I said, "Man, what's that all about?" He gave us this whole story about back in the 1900s or whatever, the Grand Forks flood. It flooded the whole town, the river right there, for however it started, I don't know. And they put that flood wall all down that river, all through town, so that if it ever floods again, they got these automatic gates that'll shut, and it protects the town. I thought that was fascinating.
We thought it was a park. It was beautiful.
So while we're there, I noticed we're driving around town in the car because Dixon's working, and we're just driving around the car and just kind of taking all the sights in. And I was just noticing, I told Sue, I said, man, for a small town, you see how many hotels there are around here? They were just everywhere. And I'm not talking single story. I'm talking 4, 5, 6 story hotels. And there were like gobs of them. I don't even know how many. I'll say I saw at least 12 to 20 of them in this small town, and probably more outside of town. And when we went out to have dinner with Dixon and them that night, I asked her, I said, why are there so many hotels in this little town? And she gave us the answer that I never knew even existed. She said because all the Canadians come down here to do their grocery shopping for the month, and they take up all these hotels every weekend. The hotels are full of Canadians because they come down here to buy whatever it is they want to buy and take it back to Canada.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just thought, man, I don't understand that at all, but I guess.
Well, I said on the other side of the border is fairly desolate. There's not a whole lot of
I thought there was some kind of a border thing where if you take groceries across the border, you're not allowed to have this, you're not allowed to have that.
I don't know how that works. It's kind of like the military, just because I don't know how that works.
I don't either.
But I said I do think that on the other side of them is Winnipeg, which I think that's a lot of open area. So, they don't have a lot of shopping and stuff there until you get to the city.
But if you think about this, how much money do you have to save to pay for a hotel room for the weekend, gas prices to get down there in your car, and then buy this stuff, and then drive home?
Well, I don't ask about their reasoning. That's
but anyway,
not my business.
It must be true, and it must work, because I've never seen so many hotels in a small town in my life.
Yeah. Darrison says, Skip, take Jose with you to visit Mechanipe. You guys are hilarious together. They are, aren't they?
I don't know. He's pretty busy anymore, grinding coffee and roasting beans.
Mm-hmm.
And now he makes his K-cups, and it's all on his website.
Yeah.
So he told me yesterday, I think, or day before yesterday, on Discord, that he took his truck in to wherever he's getting this thing built for the back of it, and he dropped the truck off. So he don't even have a truck right now. It's gone.
POS 1, is going to be his mobile coffee unit, and so they're in the works of getting that started now. So we'll be thrilled for him when he gets it done. But like I said, he's still going to sell his coffee.
You know what, buddy's been halfway good. I'm gonna open these.
Oh yeah.
We got some things that people sent, and I just left them in there. I don't know who they're from. See, this is from Amazon. Thank you, Amazon.
Yeah, we get a lot of nice things from Amazon.
Yeah, hopefully there's a note inside that tells me kind of who it is.
Okay.
Where's Buddy? He's down here somewhere.
Buddy, where you at, honey?
I see his leash.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you all. We get so many nice things, and I can't believe that you're that good to us. And I just Skip and I both. And I said we get a little bit of everything.
I don't feel a note down here.
Okay. Did you not get a card ahead of time? There was something that you
With my memory, if I did, I don't even remember what
was. Was it on your?
Oh, it's a shirt.
I think.
But there's no note. I don't know who it's from.
Somebody, I think it was Cindy, that asked me about your size.
I know it, but I don't know who that was.
Cindy Gano.
Cindy Gano?
I think. And I said, and I was thinking maybe on your email or something, there was something, because you told me the same person sent me these.
I don't know that either. They came in a different package. So I
know, but I mean, you was telling me that because I didn't know who it come from either.
Yeah, it says, I also sent Sue a little something.
Okay.
But I don't know what a little something is. And then this came in a different thing with no name on it.
Yeah, right.
So is this the little something?
I think so.
I don't know. But if whoever sent a little something, we got it.
And thank you for the t-shirt. What's it say?
I don't know. What does it say?
Oh, liquor in the front, poker in the rear.
Oh, it's my Willie Nelson shirt. Liquor from poker. Yeah, I will wear this.
Yeah, we couldn't get that saying right last week. So thank you. That is so cool.
Thanks, Cindy, because I guarantee you I will wear this.
I'm not sure if that was her. I think that's who you told me, but I'm not sure.
Well, matter of fact, next time we go out and have dinner, I'm going to wear it. And I don't even care what restaurant we go to.
Yeah, that with your ice hat should go over well.
Yeah, I'll wear this with my Trump hat.
That's so precious. Richard Brooks is watching from Summerfield, Florida. Hey, Richard.
I'm not done opening gifts yet.
And he says excited for Costco to open maybe by Christmas. Got the inside scoop on that.
Oh, listen, that opening date is all over the place. People always have. They know a guy that knows a guy that knew a guy. And I just think it's hilarious. We'll just see, because who knows what the opening date's going to be. I told you what a guy told me that used to work at Costco. And then since then, there's been 2 other emails I've gotten from people that used to work at Costco. And then there was a guy last night that posted something that knew a guy that knew a guy that worked at Costco. And all 3 dates are different.
Yeah, it started in like August, and then it went to September, and then it went to October.
Gosh, I don't know what this is, but sure is wrapped well.
But they are supposed to.
Here's a note.
Oh, okay.
Says, good. Let me start off by saying, wait a minute. Whatever you're doing, stop it. So let me start off my wife by saying, but I really enjoy your videos. The fact that you tell it like it is. Everybody keeps saying that. I don't think I say it like it is. I just tell the truth. Is that saying it like it is?
Yeah. Most people have a little bit more.
Just don't show the good, a part of the villages, but it's refreshing. And the reason why I do that, our channel started out to inform people what the villages was. This is back when Spanish Springs was the only square there was. So my opinion of what the villages was back then is totally different than what my opinion of what the villages is now, because it's changed so much. Mm-hmm. We'll be visiting the villages for our 4th time, late June, early July, and hope to buy a house at that time. You, along with a few other YouTubers, are a big part of the reason for our desire to move there. Don't blame me. As a token of our appreciation for all your hard work, I have enclosed a couple of small items. The patch and coin are from the Franklin County Sheriff's Office. Oh, okay. So I guess that's what's in here. Mm-hmm. Where I have been employed for the last 33 years. Well, thanks for your service, because I know working for the Sheriff's Department sometimes is not an easy job, and it's also not appreciated by a lot. We appreciate all first responders, and I don't hesitate in telling them that too. My wife retired last month from the Columbus Police Department after 32 years of service. As a police officer, we look forward to meeting you and Sue at some point. Well, we're usually around. The month of July, we may not be here for that whole month. But generally speaking, yeah, we're around. We meet people when we can. I'd like to be able to meet them all, but sometimes we just can't do it. It's a timeline thing. They got to leave tomorrow, and maybe that day that they let us know about it, we have something planned and we just can't make it. So
we try to make it if we
can. It's a scheduling thing sometimes. This from Jeff and Shauna Gunn. I'll say Gunn. Mm-hmm. Columbus, Ohio. Don't leave your keys in a golf cart. That's good advice.
Yes. And then
let me see what's in here.
Okay. See it.
Ooh, that's cool. The coin says, what does it see here? Administration, corrections, investigations, RDEI, patrol, SOD, SSD. And on the back side, this has got some weight to it. Sheriff's Office, what Sheriff's Office? Franklin County Sheriff's Office. Proudly servicing the county. So you got some weight to it, ain't it?
Oh, my.
I think it's made out of pure gold.
Yeah, proudly serving Central Ohio. Okay. Franklin County, Ohio. Yeah, that is. That's
I don't know if you guys can see that or not, the patch. Actually, I think that's a cup holder, because it's got a thing on the, well, no, not a cup holder. What do you call them? Koozies?
A cozy, yeah.
Where you put your cup on it? Yeah, I think that's what this is. I could be wrong. I think that's what this is.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jose
that will be on my editing desk, I guarantee you.
Jose says bifocals come in handy. They come in handy in a lot of places.
What's that?
Bifocals.
I got trifocals.
What? Yeah.
I do. I got trifocals.
Amanda
I tried bifocals. It didn't work out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much. Appreciate you watching, and tell everybody at the Sheriff's Department that we said hello.
Yes. Amanda Hood says Hooters is revamping, trying to make them family friendly. Get wives and girlfriends in the restaurant. No more booty shorts and teeny tank tops.
Really?
Really.
I didn't know that.
That's kind of how they made their reputation.
Damn it, I don't want to go then.
Yeah. Well, but everybody says they go there for the wings.
I go there for the wings.
So it makes a difference what they wear?
What
No.
did Kevin's wife tell us last
They
night?
have the best wing.
She says, I'm going to go. I said, I'm taking a W&L crew and we're going to go over to Hooters whenever we can. I'm not guaranteeing opening night because that could be crazy. But I don't know how many people from Discord may want to go also, because I'll put it out there. And then if we need a table for 12, 14 people or whatever, I don't know the Hooters will be able to even do that, but we'll see. And she said that she wanted to go, and I said, okay, when we do it, I said I'll put it out there, and if you want to go, you can go. I said, have you ever? Hey, John. I said, have you ever been to Hooters before? She said, oh yeah. And she said they have the best chicken wings.
Yeah, that's what she said.
They do.
Yeah. And Tony Cease is looking forward to selling our home in South Florida and moving to the Villages. Well, you'll like it. You'll love it here, basically. And I said, you make friends here pretty quick. I've seen a few things talking about clicks and that kind of thing, and you figure that out when you get here. But it's not really that bad. There are some there are some weird people here, but there's 150,000 people.
The clicks is okay. I don't have a problem with the click. What they call a click. Click is a group of people. They started to do something because they wanted to do it. Then other people see what they're doing and they go, well, hey, can I do it? Well, yeah, you can do it, but at another table. This is our group. I got no problem with that myself. It's just like golfers. Golfers are the worst when it comes to a click. Four guys want to play. Somebody else says, hey, can you work me in? I'd like to go out and play with your group. Well, you can get your own four and you can go out with us, but us four guys, we play together because they have for 10 years. And they call that a click. So,
but now, if you don't have a foursome, they put you with somebody. So it's really easy to make friends.
The Villages will put you with somebody, not the four guys that send a click.
Yeah. But like I said, it's easy that way to learn. Like I said, when you're in a group or something, if you see the advertisements for different crafts and things, exercise groups or that kind of thing, you make friends in those groups a lot. I have a card group. I've been with them for 10 years.
Play cards. They don't play cards.
Well, we do a ladies' lunch in the neighborhood once a month.
And they don't eat either. It's all about
we've been
wine.
doing it for 10 years.
It's all about wine. These old ladies don't do nothing but drink wine. They had card here one time, and I watched them. They all brought their own bottle.
Okay. But anyhow, you'll like it here, Tony.
Whose move is it? Is it my move? They don't even know.
MKM managed to skip. I learned there are different Hooters, one owned by Nord Bay Capital.
Right.
They filed bankruptcy, not the original franchise, which is Hooters of America.
Well, that's not true. You are correct about that part of it.
I think Don told us that.
Well, no, there's an article that came out. Hooters wants to reorganize and get rid of that company so they can take it back and put it the way it originally was. In order to do that, they had to file, I think it was Chapter 11, to reorganize. So it's all under the Chapter 11 thing, but somehow, some way, that company you're talking about, they want to separate themselves from that, or they're taking it back. I can't remember how it went. You have to go find the article. And anyway, yeah, you are correct, but they're going to take it back, and they say they want to bring it back to the original owners and the original, the way that they did things.
Yeah. Jen Smith says, when Kevin Jackson bought his present home, he couldn't give enough praise for how Ira did extras for them to help, wondering why he isn't using him to sell.
We already touched that. Back the video up and watch the answer.
Yeah. Anyhow, like I said, Ira can't sell a new home. Anyhow, Jerry Bell says,
talk to the hand because face ain't
would you hush? Jerry Bell says, Skip, don't you live in old Florida? Look around you. Did you see anything young?
Oh, yeah, you are correct. No, he's correct. You are correct. I have nothing else. I can't add to that at all. I am in old Florida.
And she said, or is there a bonus by using Villages when buying a new house to sell previously? Yeah, it's in if you go back to the previous comments earlier, we tell you why there is a bonus if you buy and sell. Because he's got one here he has to sell before he can buy the new one. So there is like a 1% cash back if you do both with the Villages Realtors. Yeah. Jerry Bell says, Jen Smith already discussed, watch the first hour. There you go. Darison's Hanger. Amanda, this Hooters established in the Villages was going to give priority to residents for jobs.
Yeah,
that's
another one that say that, And I'm here to tell you that ain't true at all. because even though it's golf cart accessible, they're technically not in the villages. It's just golf cart accessible to village residents.
All right. It's in a shopping area, so it's in Lake Deaton shopping area. So, oh God. Okay. Okay. Chris Walker says, Skip, if you only got 2 years left to live, can I get your RV spot? You can have it.
You know, in the summertime, that's the best time to rent a spot over there, really,
Yeah.
because the snowbirds are gone.
And if he goes, you want to buy the RV?
Yeah, we might.
I can't drive it.
We might, after this trip, we might sell that RV.
Yeah.
I still want to get another Class A. I don't know, man. I just really like that extra. I know they're tougher to get around. They're harder to get in fuel stops and all that stuff. But just that comfort, I don't know. I never got over that. 2 air conditioners.
Amanda Hood says she just subscribed to the RV channel.
Good.
Cool.
There's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, and like I said, when we go to North Dakota, we'll be doing a lot of things and putting it on the RV channel. Not necessarily this one, but on the RV channel.
It probably won't be while I'm there either, because I got to be able to edit it, and the laptop we got has an old editor in it that I don't like. So what I might do for the whole month is I'm trying to find some videos that I can re-edit and put it in June so that you guys will have something. The odds are that first week in June, you might have news on Friday. After that, you might not have anything until I get back.
Okay.
Just so you know.
And Chris Walker says, why didn't Skip tell us about the RV channel from the beginning?
I've told you
now
that.
He tells us.
I've had that RV channel for 5 or 6 years now, and I've mentioned it 100 times.
We actually forget we have, because we don't travel all the time. You know, we're not full-time RVers. So we forget sometimes that we've got it, and he puts stuff when he fixes things out there.
Yeah.
When he works on things, he'll put a video on, but other than that, unless we travel, you know, there's not a whole lot going on there.
But this is why I push Patreon. Ask yourself this question. Apparently you watch RV channels, other RV channels. How come none of my videos in your search of other RV channels has ever popped up on the recommended list over here? How come they never pop up right there for you to see, where you'd see it and go, hey, I recognize that guy. They never do they? That's them. They are shadow. How do they put that? They call it shadowing. They shadow a lot of other people's channels for whatever the reasons are. Where on Patreon, they don't shadow me for nothing. I don't have to have commercials. I don't need anything, because if you're paying $2 a month, that's my money I can count on. I know how much I got coming every month. When it comes to YouTube, I don't know from one month to the next what they want to decide to give me for all my work. Yeah. And that is my complaint.
Becky Forbes says, I told my husband when we go visit, we will plan for 2 weeks. Yeah, I think it takes at least 2 weeks to kind of get an idea of what all is here, because it's a big place.
2 weeks will give you a really good feel.
Yeah.
Of whether you want to be
here. It's not a trailer park in the middle of nowhere. It really isn't. There's 150,000 some people here. It's a city. It's basically, well, it's like 4 cities now when they open Eastport. But it's big. It's got a lot of stuff here. And I said, nowhere else can you find the amenities that we have here, as far as your games, your pickleball, your baseball.
Rec centers, country clubs.
Yeah, you won't find that anywhere else. And I said, this
golf
is
cart travel.
Very unique.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
You don't need a car here at all to do anything.
Yeah, I used to come down here by myself. I'd fly down, and I didn't need a car. I could go anywhere I wanted. I could go eat. I could go to Walmart. I could go to the hospital, all on golf carts.
She would send me pictures when I was working, when she was down here. And all I saw in this picture, this one, I never forget this one picture, and because I literally threw my phone to the other side of the cab. That I'm working out here fighting snow and ice, and I don't even know why she was down here, because generally I rented the house out in the wintertime, but maybe this was the early snow. I don't know. And all I saw was her foot at the end of this picture, sun, blue skies, and a swimming pool. That was the picture.
I used to torture him until he actually give up and retire. Meadow 37 says, missed it. Where is Kevin moving to?
He don't know yet. He bought a house. I got to sell this one first.
Yeah, but they're looking at the Water's Edge area. I think that's what he said. Shady Brook, Water's Edge, in that area.
Is Kevin on here or no?
He went to play cards.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Jerry Bell says, man, if there's an Eastport, yeah, it's the Eastport area. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people wanting to go down there. I mean, it's a very attractive area. We've been down there. We went there a couple weeks ago, and we had a Patreon kind of like a lunch get together. We did it on Discord. I don't think we ever advertised it on Patreon. We did it on Discord. That's what I keep telling everybody. Discord is where the action's at, you know. And we went to Victory
Sports Grill.
Sports Bar and Grill or something like that. Brand new
in
place,
Middleton,
just opened up. Very nice place. And inside was super good. Food was overpriced. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. But they were able to accommodate all of us. We had about 20 people.
Yeah.
And they were very good about
Very good.
service.
The service was good. The food was good. Prices were a little high, I thought. I had a hamburger and fry, and the burger is $20. That's, I mean, is that crazy nuts? Probably not, but that's still overpriced because guess what? They found out that, oh my gosh, there's a store open over there. We should go over there and look around.
Mustard, decor and more. And I said, it has all your home decor items in there. Because here we have Rustic Rose here in Brownwood, and down there they have Mustard Seed. It's in the Middleton area. And I said, right next to the high school and the Performing Arts Center. Really nice area.
So while they went over there, the guys I was with, there's just three of us, me and Jose and what's his name?
Brad Shea.
Brad Shea. By the way, he does stuff with his computer that he does on Discord. You guys haven't seen it. That's just fascinating. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, he does a good job. Yeah.
So anyway, they were all standing there. I said, hey, well, they're going to go there and go shopping. I don't want to go shopping. Jose said, I don't want to go shopping. I said, let's just sit up here in this outside bar and just drink beer till I get back. So that's what we did.
Yeah. And Becky Farber says, no, she didn't mean the village. She said, visit Montana in September after school starts.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's a good idea.
September will be kind of chilly up there.
Yeah, and I'm not big on cold weather, let me tell you.
Well, it's just chilly. I'm going to say it's cold. I think they get their first snow usually around the end of October.
Probably, yeah. Barbara Ebner, and I think she's talking about the village, it says stay a month if you can in October. We did it, and it was perfect.
October is a good month.
It is. It's, that's when the temperature gets decent.
Humidity goes away.
Off. Yeah.
October is a good month.
Jose Diablo says, Ohio weather is the opposite. It's raining 3 to 4 days a week, and I'm mowing grass every 4 to 5 days. I'll bet.
Yeah, springtime was that way in Indiana, too. It just seemed like the grass just kept growing. And I would mow I remember one time, and I had a big yard, and I probably mowed it 3 times in 1 week.
Yeah, it was funny because in the spring, we all waited to see who would be the first to get out the John Deeres. All of us had big backyards. And so I said, the first one to get out the John Deere and start mowing would start the trend, and everybody'd start mowing after that.
We'd hear, what's that noise? Oh, Bob's mowing his grass. Well, I guess I better get out there and get my yard mowed.
Yeah. Becky Farber says, Montana is terrible for traffic and cows and from May to after Labor Day.
Yellowstone? Pretty my guess.
Yeah. And they've got new rules now about people going into Yellowstone. You can't just go in.
They're waiting for that massive volcano to go off.
Well, like I said, there's a rule they can only let so many in and that kind of thing. So you got to do it ahead of time.
A lot of it is because of stupid people. I still see these people walking up to a wild buffalo to get a selfie with this thing, and it's like, what are you people thinking?
Yeah, but like I said, you have to do some planning to go there. You can't just show up.
Remember
how you are.
I don't know where we were at, but we were driving through a park years ago when we had the car. We were just cruising around. And I was fascinated by I call them groundhogs, but they're not groundhogs. What are they? They stand up, colonies of them.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Prairie dogs.
Prairie dogs.
And it was just tons of them.
It was in Theodore Roosevelt Park.
But I don't remember what state that was
Dakota.
Was it in Dakota?
I don't know, it was north or south, but yeah, it was in Dakota.
We was driving through, it's a drive-through park, which I like them. And buffalo was everywhere. I mean, there was herds of buffalo that I think were segregated somehow because all of them seemed to have baby calves. Other places, it seemed like they were just a bunch of old male buffaloes sleeping together or laying down together. And I've seen the size of some of them old buffalo. I'm not walking up there to get a selfie with one of them guys. I mean, are you kidding me? And then we was down a road, and I mean, who can argue? There's a herd of wild horses walking down this road or trotting down this road. And there were some people you could tell they wanted to pass them. And I'm looking at them going, you're crazy.
I know. Tangled around something.
These chicks and lizards over here.
Okay. Becky says Montana has become unaffordable for the average person.
Yeah, I've heard that.
My husband and I are from the west side, and we live on the east side now, 45 minutes from Glacier Park East entrance.
Glacier Park's another place I'd like to go to. I heard
She said we cannot afford to move back home.
Montana's becoming a state for millionaires. I mean, a lot of California people moved to Montana and built houses, and but I've heard the same thing in Colorado. That certain parts of Colorado, there's a lot of California people selling out in California and moving to Colorado and buying homes in small communities and building $1 million houses. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's all legal, and but the people that live there, much like Florida, it's all the same. Original people that lived here in Florida does not like the building that's going on throughout the state. They say we're ruining old Florida, and we are. Old Florida is just a matter of time. It's going to be a relic. There just isn't going to be any old Florida.
Mr. Savane says, whatever happened to your YouTube friend Tom from years ago that used to crash your place?
Well, he used to come here. To be honest with you, I mentioned this before. I don't mention him anymore. I told him he couldn't come here anymore because he just done a couple of things that I don't appreciate. And but that's who he is, and he can do what he wants to do. But I don't have to go along with it.
And he moved to Idaho, so.
That ain't got anything to do with it.
But I mean, he doesn't come here that often, so.
Well, even if he did, doesn't make any difference.
Okay.
He just does a couple of things I didn't appreciate.
Amanda Hood says, Skip, a brand new pair of dark Levi's, nice shoes, sports coat will look dapper and suitable for granddaughter's wedding.
I thought about getting a T-shirt where it looks like a tuxedo. Remember, we're going up to Whoville, where people...
She's having a formal wedding. I don't think that would work. So.
It would look all right for those guys.
Well, I don't know.
I bet you Jethro shows up in bib overalls.
No, I don't think so.
And a bow tie.
No.
We'll see. I'm going to take my suit. I'm going to put it in the camper just in case, but I'm going to have some other clothes. Mm-hmm. So if I don't have to wear a suit, I'm going to wear that. But we'll see. I'm going to do whatever my granddaughter wants me to do. So there you go.
Becky Forbes says, Skip, there was a bar in my hometown called Casey's. They had a huge sign in the back with that phrase on it.
Oh, did
on
they?
Your T-shirt.
Well, in Willie Nelson's truck stop when he had it back during the biodiesel days when he was pushing that, that's what I remember was mm-hmm. Poker in the front liquor in the front and poker in the rear. Yeah. In his truck stop, there was a poker room back there. I never went back there, but it was funny to go to the counter at a truck stop, which as a single truck driver, a lot of us went to the counter because we could talk to the guy next to us. The tables that had a bunch of guys, those guys had a click. And so, we sit at the counter. And it was funny to sit at the counter and a guy could order a shot and a burger. A shot. Think about this. Truck drivers, they'd order a shot of whiskey and a burger. Times has changed.
Yeah. Barbara Ebner says, how's Fat Bob? Last time Skip's name, not mine.
Last time I talked to Fat Bob, he's feeling a lot better. Said his operations came out okay. I guess the healing process is a little long. And when we went up there to Sue's brother's funeral, I called Fat Bob and said, hey, we're going to be up there. I said, I'm taking the car. I said, let me know where a nice restaurant is, say halfway between your house and Anderson, and I'll stop on the way up there and we'll have lunch or dinner. Whatever time I get there, I'll call you and we'll have dinner and talk for a while. Well, and then he called me back and said something. I forget what it was. And I said, okay, well, let me know. 2 days later, Fat Bob done forgot. He ain't called me. He ain't doing anything. So I just let it go. So then when I get to Anderson, on the way home, he sent me a text message. Now, we've done been to the funeral. We've been to Anderson for 2 days, and we're on our way home. I get a text from him saying, how about that buffet right there off I-69 in Anderson? I said, I'm on my way home. Why didn't you call me 2 or 3 days ago? He goes, well, I've been busy.
Okay. And Catherine Jacobson says, yes, the truth is saying what it is. Yeah.
That's it. Take it or leave it.
Mark Span said, hello from rainy Burleson, Texas, from Mark and Terry. Hey, guys. Catherine Jacobson says, sunny and mid-60s in Minnesota. Bless all of our first responders.
Minnesota?
You bet.
Is that all the way up to mid-60s already?
Yeah.
Wow. I would have thought they'd still be
Darrison says, I like some wine. Who owns the wine group?
Wine groups are everywhere.
There's plenty of them down here. Yeah. There's also a beer-making group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that's up at Spanish Springs. There's a building up there. What's it called?
What?
in Spanish Springs.
Oh,
Are you listening to me? Are you deaf? You can't hear me? What's it called?
I
That
can't
building.
remember.
Where they make wine.
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name.
Is that a club, or can anybody go in there?
No, anybody can go in there, and then, like I said, you make the wine, and
But they have a class where they show you how to make
yeah,
wine.
and they bottle it and keep it for you until it gets to a certain age. They do.
Yeah, but don't they do beer there also?
You know,
no?
I don't know. I think the one in Orlando or Ocala does.
We're not
both.
going there. We're talking about the villages.
I think they just do wine there.
No, there's a beer group here. I know there is.
I'm not even.
But I don't know the name of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a village sponsored thing or just a private group where anybody can join. That's a controversy that people don't understand. Villages have sponsored stuff that they do, like they say poker. You can't play poker at this rec center, blah, blah, blah. State laws, they have all this stuff. But if you're a resident here, which our next door neighbor years ago, Donnie, had it. He got a room at our rec center, and you can reserve these rooms like for a certain date and a certain time every month. I don't know how that works, but every month. He started his own poker group. Villages had nothing to do with it. They made their own rules. So you can do stuff like that. One doesn't have nothing to do with the other.
Mm-hmm. Jen Smith says, watched last week and didn't hear, but Kevin's house isn't new. It was pre-owned. Yes, the one that he lives in now, but he's wanting a new one. He's wanting to buy a new one.
Well, he had a new one. His first house there was a new one, brand new.
Yeah, the first one was new.
He got rid of that one. It was a patio villa, and they decided they needed more room. He bought this one, had a golf cart garage
and
all that.
And it was pre-owned.
And they remodeled a lot of it inside. Mm-hmm. Nothing major like painting and stuff like that. And he'd been down to Eastport, and he's just decided he likes that down there a whole lot better than up there, so he's going to sell it.
Oh, well, hey, how are you?
Remember me? Remember me?
No.
I do. Hey, BJ. You hear yourself?
BJ John?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Get that lady a chair.
So, Buddy must remember you.
Yeah. Daddy?
Buddy likes everybody.
Becky says, I kind of like the idea of living in the older areas. Lots are bigger and trees are more mature. Yeah, most of them.
Well, yeah. This stuff grows pretty quick.
Get the lady a chair.
I'm going to let her have this chair, and I'm thinking about going in the house.
Oh, okay.
Nobody wants to talk to me.
Oh, okay. we have a visitor today. She just got here. BJ.
Are you here full time now?
Not yet.
Not yet.
See, she's somebody new that they can ask her questions.
There you go.
People think I discriminate.
I can go over here.
No, they can't see you over there.
No, they can't see you. Come over here.
Where are you going?
He's going to
I'm
take
going to go in the house.
Well,
Buddy drives me nuts. He wants you.
I'll take him.
And you take him in the house. Now she's going to get out of hand.
Quit telling me what to do.
Okay. That's okay.
You heard me.
I'm a dog person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I don't know who sent these ink pens. Yeah, thank you. I don't know. Next time you guys send us something, put a name or something on there. We don't know who it is.
Yeah, I have no idea who they come from. They're nice. They've got turtles and all kinds of sea stuff. So
I'm going in the house for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm from Lake Sumter.
Oh my goodness, you rode a long way. This is BJ, guys.
Put this on. 'Cause I don't need it. Just clip it
that's
anywhere
your
up around
microphone.
your neck or on your sleeve.
And don't let Buddy eat it.
Your microphone.
Okay.
It's already on.
Yeah. And Lenny B says, if you were single, would you move to the villages? Well, there's a lot of single clubs here. I got a lady across the street that's single, and she belongs to a lot of the single clubs, and she loves it. That way you don't have to eat dinner alone. And they do a lot of bike riding and a lot of stuff, that you wouldn't necessarily want to do by yourself. I hate going out to eat by myself. So I always, that's why I got the ladies' lunch on every month, because that way I don't have to eat by myself. I can go wherever I want, don't have to eat by myself. So.
That's the one where you drink a lot of wine and
well,
maybe a little.
I drive, so I don't normally get to. Because when I was with Deb, she didn't drive, but I drove all the time, so I didn't normally get to drink.
Oh, okay.
When I get to go with somebody else, I do.
Okay.
Then I said, when we play cards, we play at each other's houses.
Oh.
In the neighborhood here, so that we can drink however we want and stagger home.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah,
I can be a designated driver anytime. I don't drink.
Nah. Well, I don't drink that much, but I do. Like I said, I've really taken a liking to that chocolate martini. I don't know why, because I know the chocolate wine was yucky, But the chocolate martini,
Where are you
it's something
going?
different.
It's okay.
Becky says Glacier Park, Yellowstone, etc. You must buy a ticket to get in ahead of time. I knew that there was something you had to go through, and I think they're limited in how many goes in there because it's doing something to the environment. I read a lot about that, but I don't remember what. And she said we call it Turon season, tourist moron, getting trampled by bison, sleeping in a tent in grizzly country. Yeah, not exactly my cup of tea, but I do it. You know, I'm usually both feet. Let's go do it. Teresa Hilton says, Colorado here. Yes, people from California have ruined Colorado. We won't even go downtown anymore. You know, I've heard that, but I've heard it blamed on the weed being more prevalent than what it used to be. I haven't heard them blame California for it, but you never know. Jose Diablo says, my grandson is getting married on Saturday, and I'm breaking out the 20-year-old suit. Yeah, that's kind of how we are. We don't wear a lot of formal clothes here because everything's
exactly. I'm getting used to that idea.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself yesterday when we go back to Wisconsin, I want to take a picture of everything I have here already, and I'm not going to take anything back. And when I get there, I'm going to think to myself, okay, I'm going to have 2 outfits that are for really nice going out, and 2 outfits for sort of nice going out. And then the rest is, I mean, I wear T-shirts and shorts every day.
Well, and I always had the black dresses for the funerals and everything up north. Down here, nobody wears black to a funeral. I mean, maybe the preacher, but most everybody is just
casual.
It's a celebration of life. It's not a funeral anymore. They have a celebration of life, and you wear what the weather dictates. You don't necessarily come in shorts and tank top, but you wear what the weather dictates. Most is just nice dresses.
Well, sure.
And I kind of like that idea, really, because I'm not a black person.
Yeah,
never did care for the black thing, but up north I do that because that's what they expect.
Yeah.
No.
And the shoes. I mean, I just got out of like a medical sales career, so my whole closet. It's so hard because they're just really nice clothes. There's lots of different kind of clothes, and I liked Ann Taylor a lot and that kind of thing. And here they are hanging there, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to go back to sales, but yet it's just so hard to let go. And now here I am trying to let go of my clothes, and then my mom passed away a few years ago, and I have all of her clothes because I'm the only girl. Oh God! So I've got all that, and it's kind of like, come here, buddy.
Come here. I just don't even get out. That car goes by. He chases cars.
Come here, buddy.
Come here, baby. Come here. Yeah, he's picked up that habit, chasing cars and cars for some odd reason. So
I don't know how I think I'm going to hire someone to help me because I don't know how to go through my mother and father's things. And I have 2 older brothers, and they,
yeah, I know. Like I said, we've done this several times.
And then it was like, you take the rest, and it's like,
yeah, I would find a nice women's group, that a nice place that gives to.
I know, and that's
different.
I have a couple
I know a lot. I do the pickups for breast cancer. They pick up a lot, and I don't know if they do clothes. I know they do household things, but that and Restoring Hope was for the veterans. They take a lot of stuff. I've took a lot of stuff to them. Bargains and Blessings. They make it so easy at Bargains and Blessings that because it's a drive-through, and they'll take it out of the car for you. It's wonderful. But normally, like I say, I give to Pick Us for Breast Cancer and the Restoring Hope because I like those 2 groups.
Yeah.
And I said, and then there's also consignment shops.
It just
they do furniture, but not clothing. But
it just seems so overwhelming.
It is. It's a lot. You know, lot to take care of. But before you move down here, you want to do that because you just don't want to store it. There's just not storage here.
No, I know I'm not going to do that. But on top of all that, the house was full when we moved in. So it was a turnkey.
Oh, that's right.
And I joined the wood shop. So I like to do woodworking. Mm-hmm. And I had a conversation yesterday with a guy there, and we were both just, oh my gosh. Because when he moved, he brought years ago his Pennsylvania house furniture from Connecticut. And when we moved in, I think I mentioned it before, we have all this gorgeous, gorgeous Ethan Allen furniture. And it really is spectacular. Mm-hmm. But it's just not my style, and it's not my husband's style. And we're kind of like, And the fellow I talked to at the wood shop said he and his wife had a crisis about it because they're both woodworkers and they ended up painting.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
said, I can't paint it. I can't paint it. And he said, I know, that's what we said. But when you have these big pieces of mahogany, you really can
And
take
they
it
don't
apart.
make that
And
anymore.
I know,
You know,
and
I mean,
you can make something with the pieces too. So, boy, we have a sleigh bed and we have a curio and a hutch and this big armoire. Oh my
yeah.
God.
So if y'all are coming down here and you need some furniture, get a hold of us and we'll hook you up with BJ because
Oh,
said
yeah.
she's got stuff to get rid of before she can
Oh, I sure do.
buy what she really wants.
A
So
couple lazy boy chairs that are really
Mhm.
nice, but I mentioned that too. But yeah,
okay, let's see. Anne Marie says that a recent change at Yellowstone. We visited last year, and that wasn't the case, although we did have a hotel reservation at the lodge one night. And I think Anne Marie, like I said, I think they've changed those rules because they said that they had so many visitors that it was changing something in the environment. So they had to do something, and that's what they did. You had kind of had a reservation to go in because they was only letting so many people in at a time. So um, let's see. Let's see how far we are here from the, because we're going to have to quit here in a minute.
oh sure.
Well, let
Oh, we're gonna go on
read
for
you what we
another.
got.
We're gonna go on for another hour.
Okay.
Just
We
kidding.
might do that. You know, Skip's not here. No, it'll probably shut off. So,
Oh,
wanted to read some of the things going on this week. The Hurricane Expo is Friday, May 2nd, from 10 to 2 at Savannah Center. The admission is a non-perishable food item for local food banks, and there'll be a food truck on site. If you've not been to the Hurricane Expo, I advise everybody to go. Because even if you're not going to be down here during hurricane season, which that's from June until the end of November, um, some of this stuff is a good thing to know for your house. And they've got all kinds of people at this expo. I mean, they've got people that have the prepared meals in case you don't have electricity. They've got people that have the things that you can put over your window in case of hurricanes and stuff. I mean, they've got everything. They also usually have all of uh, your sheriff's office, your police officers, those kind of things. They have their brochures telling you certain things to do in case of hurricane. So there's a lot of things to see there. They take a bag because they always have giveaways. You know, they give out rulers and the hand sanitizer and all that kind of stuff. I always went for the goodies because I went every year, so I really didn't need any of that stuff. But yeah, it's really information that you need to know. And like I said, a lot of people that move down here don't know that not every shelter takes a pet. Not every shelter takes handicapped people. They're separate, and so you need to know this stuff, especially if you got your favorite friend with you, or like I said, if you're on life support, that kind of thing. If you're on oxygen, you need to know where these places are. We've never had to use a shelter here. I mean, we get the storms. We don't get the storms like the coast does. But just in case, you need to know this stuff. It would put your mind at ease. Like Skip says, whatever makes you sleep at night. That's what you need to know. Um, but yeah, if you get a chance, go to the Hurricane Expo. It's Friday, May 2nd, from 10 to 2 at Savannah Center. Next up is the Astronomy Day, Saturday, May 3rd, from 12 to 3 at Homestead Recreation Center in front of the Nature Walk. And if you're a astronomy geek, there's people there with their all their equipment, and they'll show you how to use it, tell you what you're looking for, that kind of thing. So it's at Homestead Recreation in front of the Nature Walk on Saturday. Brownwood Monday Night Car Show is from 5 to 8 on the 5th. Bad Behavior will be the performers. Cinco de Mayo celebrated March 5th. Check out all the restaurants for Cinco de Mayo specials. Yeah, a lot of them, especially the Mexican restaurants, but a lot of them are doing, I think a lot of the FMKs are doing something special for Cinco de Mayo. Wednesday is Music at the Mill from 4 to 6 at the Old Mill Playhouse. This is something they're doing with the movie theater now that, they people aren't big on going to the movies. They stream a lot of stuff. But the movie theaters, they're using it for a different venue now. And so on Wednesdays from 4 to 6, they have the stage shows, and it's free. They have entertainment and a local artist each week. Jim Christie is the entertainment for this week, and he's got a guitar and vocals, and that's what he's going to do this week. So check it out at the Old Mill Playhouse. Kind of had a brain fart there. And I want to give a big thank you to a lot of people. I said we get a lot of stuff. I said Skip got some things today, a T-shirt and the medals, and we appreciate that so much. And you guys are so good. You're just too good to us. And I got a beautiful card from Robin Tremaine. She's the one that made our porch Settin sign, and she did some handmade cards that was just really extraordinary. I love that. Karen Jacks. Kevin brought me over a couple of beautiful handmade cards the other day, and I'm surely going to use those because those are really pretty. It's a group that they have down here that where you can learn how to make those. I got the pins. I believe they were from Cindy Gano, but I'm not sure because there wasn't anything in the package that says who it was from. But I thank you. I also got a Easter card from Mr. and Mrs. James Dush. And I got a gift card from Diane Hill, and I got some great face cream from Kathy Plum. And I said, Kathy, I love that cream. I really, really do. A friend of hers makes it.
What kind is it?
It's made with 3 different ingredients, and none of them are bad stuff. They
Toxic,
don't put these are one is Vaseline, one is beeswax. I mean, it's 3 things that
I'd like to get
are
some.
not going to. Well, I guess she doesn't sell it on the open market, but because she's a friend of Kathy's, and Kathy sent me 2 of them, and I really, really love them. I actually tried it out on Jose the other day.
Oh, and did he like it?
He liked it.
Ooh.
Yeah, and but yeah, thank you to all. And yeah, Skip's birthday is on Mother's Day, actually. I think it's Mother's Day this year. It's May 11th. So yeah, send him a card. Give him a hard time.
How old is he going to be?
Well, he'll tell you one thing, and I'll tell you the truth. Yeah, he'll be 73.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
He thinks he'll be 74 because he thinks he's already 73.
Oh,
I don't.
Geez.
I'm not going to.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Around there.
Yeah. Oh, and Anna Marie says she's looking forward to visiting again in 2028 with our youngest grandson. I love that area of the country. It is a beautiful area because of the horse country. I mean,
did you have a chewy?
It's green. A lot of stuff going on.
Do you have a chewy?
And nice. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. So, hope to see you, Anne Marie. And with that, I think we're going to have to say goodbye. Let's say goodbye, BJ.
Goodbye, BJ. No,
love y'all.
Yep. Bye bye.
Oh, see you on the other side. And don't leave your keys in the golf cart. Jerry the puppy's doing fine. He's just meaner and cat.
He's fine. Look
Yeah.
at him.
He's good. He settles down after a while.
He's a good doggy.
Yeah.
You're a good doggy.
Once again, he gets excited when he sees people, but he settles down.
You're a good doggy. Where's his little chewy?
It's down here somewhere. Here he is. I say, hey, Skip's cookies, and now he wants his chewy.
Yeah, I